We're marching down, taking over these properties, educating about abuses of Scientology. We're running up and down the street of LRH Way. No more kids in Scientology. Stop the abuse, it's been going on for too long. Stop hurting the kids, it's obviously wrong. Why can't you see all the atrocities, the abuses of Scientology? Auditing children is very bad, so is disconnecting kids from their dad. Plus there are child labor laws that are ignored. The brick road was paved by child labor. Stop the abuse, it's been going on for too long. Stop hurting the kids, it's obviously wrong. Why can't you see all the atrocities, the abuses of Scientology? We're marching down, taking over these properties, educating about abuses of Scientology. We're running up and down the street of LRH Way. No more kids in Scientology. Stop the abuse, it's been going on for too long. Stop hurting the kids, it's obviously wrong. Why can't you see all the atrocities, the abuses of Scientology? Auditing children is very bad, so is disconnecting kids from their dad. Plus there are child labor laws that are ignored. The brick road was paved by child labor. Stop the
What's up, everyone? That song right there explains that's why I do this. Stop the child abuse. Auditing children is wrong. Child labor is wrong. Kids partially laid the bricks on L. Ron Hubbard Way. That's why my heart is in this for that reason. That's the biggest thing about any of this to me is looking out for the kids. There needs to be no more kids in Scientology, and everyone might have a different reason for why they do this, but that's my reason. And if you're in it for that reason too, or, you know, another reason that is similar, like let's just continue this. No distractions. No, like we gotta just focus. And, I wanted to do this stream because there's a lot of talk going on about this permitted protest, and for me that's a day that we can unite and not worry about the beef. But I had already spoke a little bit about this earlier today, um, in Carla's stream, but I felt like it was incomplete. I felt like I didn't have it wasn't my conversation to have, and that there was someone that they can voice it a bit better than me. So without further ado, we're gonna bring Audit LA up here, and let's see what she has to say about the protest and what's going on with everything. All those questions that people wanted answers for that I had no clue. This is the best person to ask. Audit LA, welcome. What's up?
Thank you, Gonza. Happy to be here. How are you doing? I'm still not home yet, so forgive me. I'm like, if it gets a little noisy.
Well,
Uh,
thank you for even when it's not ideal. Thank you for jumping on, because I feel like it's
Absolutely.
important to get your voice on this.
Yeah, I mean, my opinion is this is something that very grateful that Gina, she knew I had this vision of wanting to do this. I never took any steps to do it, other than inquire maybe about, could this be possible and stuff. But she's actually like, no, let's get this done and do it. And and as we know now, that it didn't, like it didn't work out. They did not give her the permits because of location. Basically, you had to. I mean, we couldn't get the street closure one, the ideal one, because we don't have property there, and we wouldn't have 51% of the but when it came to the First Amendment, they're like, no, you're not here.
So
It's not something that needs to be sponsored, type of
the
thing.
application that she submitted was for the street closure thing,
At
or did
first,
she?
well,
Oh, and then
that's what she was going for, and then they said no, it doesn't qualify. You need to go for the First Amendment one with LAPD, and so that's what she did. And then they said no because she was basically saying, well, she was the local, um, person there, but I mean, she wasn't local, and that they needed someone local. So she goes, okay, she'll sponsor, and then, but then, that I could be the local person. And they said, well, it doesn't need a sponsor. Like either have her do it, or just they were going to turn it down. So of course, I'm not going to let this opportunity go by. It's always been sticking in my mind since they really violated Jessica's rights and stuff. And so so we did it. And we know it's a very big undertaking. We understand that on, it's Father's Day and all these things and all these working elements, but we're like, let's go for it and let's do this. And so here we are. I
well,
wish we had had more time.
I remember when Jessica was going through it. I was watching her streams a lot then, and she was going up to the the Hollywood division, which that might have been an issue because it's northeast. But I know I've seen her at the Hollywood police station trying to, maybe she went other places I didn't see, but she was going one place. They said, oh, you got to talk to this person over there. So then she'd go to the other place, and they're like, no, you got to go back to the police station. And they just gave her
Correct.
the runaround with that.
And then in the end, sorry, I'm like checking. And then in the end, they hold on. I'm gonna spend. Yeah, hold on for a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll just go back and talk about how
All right, I'm back.
Jessica, okay, but Jessica tried and tried for at least, it was like at least a month straight, I remember, right? Like she put a lot of time into going to these different departments and
Yes,
one
and it,
person.
well, and I mean, she did so much running around, and she really worked hard at that because I remember she was working hard, and I didn't know the process back then. But through the CPRAs, and this is what was kind of sticking in my crawl, and what I've been talking about, I think, and what kind of motivated, Gina to say, well, then let's do this because it was really bothering me that that the police, were talking about, oh, well, she wants her permit is to park cars. We know it's not just about parking cars. She probably asked to park cars as part of it, and and so then they said, oh, well, that's not a First Amendment issue. Parking cars has nothing to do with the First Amendment. Well, it could if you had signs on it or something, if that's where you're going to, but they didn't even like take time to ask about it, and or like to try to. They just really were just so happy to be able to talk her out of her First Amendment rights, and it was wrong. And so this is like for me, it's like okay, it continues the saga, and then but we also see where we are now. We're in a different place now, which is good because now look, we do have a permit. And I know that so many people, there's so many different questions, and I get it, and I'll answer any question as best as I can.
Okay,
Um,
you're about to touch on one that I was actually thinking of asking you. Okay. There's been talk where people are like, what's the point of getting a permit? You don't need to get a permit. That's stupid. You're stupid for getting a permit. Why are you getting a permit when you can do the same thing without a permit? Like everyone's questioning that aspect. What do you have to say on that?
Yes, and I've heard that question. And I mean, they're right. Like technically, you don't need a permit to have your first. Our First Amendments are intact with a permit or not. But let's be honest. And like I like to be strategic in how I do things and do things with that will hopefully lead to successful outcomes. Whoa, shoot, hold on. Wait, sorry, oh, sorry, I just got stuck in the street because this car. I know. Wait a
Well,
minute, guys.
that's another thing to
Stuff.
talk about. Public Works, about the streets, Bureau of Street Services or whatever.
Yeah, I think I can. Oh, wait. I might be able to turn it around. Hold on, guys. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go up here straight and then turn around. Sorry, guys. Let me go on off mic for a sec. Oh, I think I got it.
Did it work?
Yeah, somebody almost just Thank you so much. Sorry, somebody just like another car was just kind of like running me, not caring whether or not, like almost running me off the road, and it put me in like this little ditch. But
That's
thank you.
scary.
Always
'Cause
nice
I
people
hear a
to
lot.
come help.
I've
Thank
told you
you.
about. I hear a lot about the pedestrian accidents there, where they're like hit
Yeah,
and run,
we
and
almost
it's
just had one. But she just wasn't paying attention, and I'm like safely waiting, and at the cross I had the crosswalk, and then they just come zooming up, and and it kind of pushed me into this like little whatever. But that's a different subject. But okay, but back to whether or not we need it.
why is the permit needed?
Okay, it's not that it's legally needed. It's not legally needed. Okay, we could sit there, but like let's just be honest. We're dealing with Scientology.
Are you? That's a good just
And
like.
so, okay, so like
Oh,
the thing is,
wait,
we're dealing with Scientology, right? Like,
I was gonna say cut out, but you're back.
what do you think the chances are that they would let, say we get 30 people there, 40, 50, whatever amount. What do you think the chances are that they would just let us go have our First Amendment, leave us alone, not like try to stand their ground on the sidewalk and hold their, have the armed guards out there standing their ground, calling the police that were loitering, calling the police that were being hostile and that were doing, some kind of like takeover, that they feel threatened and scared. All these things for all these hours. Like, what do you think the chances are that they would just be okay and back down and let us have our day? Okay.
Yeah, and also, what about David Sanchez from the Drug Free World or whatever? That him and his friends, they were sitting in the cafe and they were watching DOA do his barbecue thing, and then they came over and they intentionally knocked it over, which that could
Right.
have been really bad. That could have started a fire. It could have exploded. It could have hurt someone. It could have seriously damaged someone.
And
So
yes.
like a possibility, but
But
the
then we
permit.
also learn from that, right? Like we learn what works and what doesn't work. We learn that, see, they are not afraid to send people out there to harass, intimidate, or do whatever. And so, do you think that they wouldn't do it this time? I mean, if they're going to
So
do it to a guy, I don't think they'll do it to a girl in the chair. Hey, how you doing? You
how
too.
how does the
Sorry.
permit stop or help prevent something like that from happening?
The pink is my favorite color. Oh, I gotta go. That's okay.
But
Sorry.
like, what is the what can the permit do? Like, how
Okay.
could that prevent that or minimize that or
And I apologize for all the, like I said, I'm still in the process of trying to get back. And I just had a really another weird event. But anyway, so what it does, okay, it gives, first of all, it lets the police know that what our intentions are, right? We want to have a First Amendment protest. We know we have our right to do it. We don't need their permission. But it says when we work with them that it would be, that we're going to abide by their rules. We're going to abide because we want something in return. We want those sidewalks free and clear for us. Yes, they have to be able, we have to let them walk by. We get it. We want that. We understand that. But but at the same time, we want to have dominant, like the possession of it, where they can't sit there and have like 20 armed guards standing their ground on the sidewalk, because that they would be legally allowed to do that. It's their, not that it's their
so
sidewalk, but they see it as their sidewalk.
in a
And they would
way
have as much right as we would.
is it sort of like helping to set a standard? Because if on the day of the permitted protest we let them walk by as long as they're moving, like then
Correct.
when they're having their event we're allowed to walk by and keep it moving. Like the people are gonna follow the same rules for Scientology and respect that, or like that's
They
what I
have
don't get.
to
Is this
now.
gonna like does this are you saying this is like a president's type of thing, like a
No, this
I
is
don't
like a
know.
rules requirement because we're given the
So it's
permit. The city, yes,
how
they will be required to move. Like, I mean, if we, yes, the public's allowed, but like if it's like where they don't want us there, they're not part of the protest. They will have to keep moving. They will not be able to stand their ground. That was my main concern. Is that if we had something this big at their territory, and I know, and that they would stand their ground, and they would have every right to stand their ground. They would have every right to have 20 guards out there because there's no permit that says that the city has given us this space for these hours. Now the city will not only do they give us the right to have that time, that what I mean, but they also are sending security, and I'm going to have different security too because I don't know for sure that they'll be there the whole time, but so it also they are enforcing it, so they can also now no longer they cannot have a permit to where they, even for the street part, even though there cannot be two permits at one time in one place. And so it also eliminates their ability to to do any kind of event or anything like that while we're doing it.
So, like, it sounds like this permit isn't necessary. We know that, but it sounds like there's a lot of benefits to it, like the protection and stuff, and the cops being there. They will be observing stuff, and they can see from the get go what's going on, and it'll be harder for setups and stuff. You
Absolutely.
know,
And if there is a setup, if somebody does something, where they're kind of interfering with us, there's going to be police there. And also they're, like I said, they're not going to be able just to stand there. They're not going to be able to claim that we are loitering. They're not going to be able to claim that we're there, as long as we're peaceful, obviously, that we're there to harass or any of these things, or that we're, like this criminal mob, that we're there to, to no, the city approved it. The city
so,
knows we're there, and they know that the city knows. So it should calm
so
tensions down. It's very, you know,
but
strategic.
okay, of that, like, if someone were to pop up and cause a scene, we the other people at the protest would not be co-signing that. That we are peaceful. If
Absolutely.
someone, the reason for security is not just for, the Scientology people or whatever. It's for other people that might want to disrupt. And,
Absolutely.
without
Anyone
a
that wants
permit,
to disrupt.
without a permit, are we allowed to just go anywhere we want in a city? And I mean, I guess there's bodyguards, so we could have security anywhere we want, right? Like, that's not a permit thing. Like, we could, if someone wanted to go there and just protest without a permit, they could bring their security, right?
I see, but then you have to look at the loitering laws. I don't, like there's loitering laws. There's, and then at that time you're suspicious. So what they're going to do is they would call the cops endlessly, but here they are on notice. The police are on notice. If they play these games, they look bad because now if they're going to call us on anything, it's going to be because they're going to try to catch us on violating something like sound ordinance or something else. But they won't be able to say, "Oh, they're loitering here," And because think about it, if we didn't have a permit and we're there occupying this sidewalk, two sidewalks for 10 hours, and have all the security, it's going. I mean, in a weird way, they would have a right to say, "Hey, we're feeling under siege" or something. And it's just going to bring. I don't want the government, and I don't want the government coming to me and saying, "Hey, what are you doing here?" and trying to decide whether or not I belong there. I have the papers. I want to make the point to Scientology. I want to reclaim the street, but when anything comes up, here's the papers. Here's my permit. And so, no, I don't need the permit to have my First Amendment, but I need a permit to navigate all the possibilities because we know what we're up against. We're up against Scientology and they don't play fair. They are not understanding. They don't, none of it. So, you know, so that's for me, I just felt it was the best way to go.
Okay, so moving on to something else that I've seen going around is people have been saying, why don't you just, do what DOA did with the encampment and, just cook the food yourselves and just pass it out for free so you're not selling it. Why is that an issue? How come that isn't a possibility?
Because that you need, if you're doing an permit and you're trying to do, because we're saying, right, we're taking their permit, and then it becomes, yes, it does become a certain level of rules if you're going to do it by a permit. That would require LAFD. I mean, you could technically, I guess, cook it, but you would have to have approval and everything done through, and permits and everything, and more, bureaucratic stuff through LAFD. I'm a disabled person in its share. Okay. I don't have the bandwidth to figure out, getting all these barbecues. I'm not a cook like that with barbecue cook. I don't know how I would manage that. That seems to me that it would be almost not worth doing at that point. That's DOA's genius. DOA is a great cook. He's a pit master. I give him kudos for that. I am not. I barely know how to even start I could barely get one started. So that's overwhelming to me. Like, I don't want to make it so difficult, and getting all these, and then having to deal with more bureaucracy. It's bad enough dealing with these permits, but so it just
So
isn't reasonable for me.
someone if someone wanted to go through the effort to, do something similar to this in the future, and they wanted to do the cooking themselves, there is a process of doing it. It's just a lot
Correct.
more you have to
Yes,
do.
right. They had to go through the LAFD special permit unit. So you have LA. We're doing the LAPD unit, but then we would also need to do the LAFD unit, and that's just more than I feel like dealing with. Like, I don't want to deal with that. It's just, I thank everybody that's contributing to help. Like, we can just have food all throughout the day, and make it enjoyable. But and I love don't get me wrong. I loved those barbecues. They were amazing. It smelled good. It was just wonderful. But it's just, and right now too, and I'm just going to be honest, they kind of have a little bit of advantage right now because they have, let's face DOA, facing all these charges. So they feel they have a win. They want to do anything they can to add to that, and hopefully in the end, they don't win anything, but that's what they want. So that's another reason why I'm like, you know what? I want to do everything. I don't want to do anything that could even remotely trip me up legally, because that's what they're out for right now. And so, I just want to keep it where I don't. And if it, and I do, and whatever they're asking for, I'm going to just honor it and work with them, maybe negotiate, whatever. But I want to be on common ground. I don't want to make enemies, because I also would like to, even if it's not a big deal, maybe the first one's a big deal, but another time I would like to be able to maybe do it again, I don't want to, maybe not there at that location, who knows, but I don't want to burn my bridges. And with LAPD also, right? The other thing it does, and this is what was part of my strategy, is that anyone that's followed the CPRAs, right? What's their mantra? Oh, they're an angry mob. They have their ringleader and they're dangerous, and we can't go to the doctors or to the store anymore because we're so scared for our lives and our safety. Okay, well, why would the LAPD Police Commission grant us a permit if that was true? So it completely negates, it completely ends that narrative for them, for us. Okay. And that's what I wanted. Okay. And for me to, I don't want to burn the bridges. I'm the type of person, if you know me, I am a bridge builder. I am not a bridge burner. I am someone that I do not try to demolish bridges under any circumstances. I try not to. I don't like to do that. So I try to build bridges, and that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I'm doing. I just have to be true to myself. You know what I mean? And this is just, so like I said, no, we don't need it to protest. And I am, you see me protesting all the time, whatever, without it. You know what I mean? So obviously I know we don't need the permit, but I think it's just a good idea in these times, especially right now, because they're circling like vultures. They feel they snapped one up. They tried with Henry. You don't think they're going to try with any of us? Of course they are, but it just takes away a lot of that, their ability to do so,
Right.
if that makes sense.
It's not necessary, but there's a lot of benefits and reasons to do it this way. And then,
Yes.
so if someone wanted to, you know, dig deeper and do more, and do like the cooking themselves, that is possible, but you got to go the fire department route with that.
Correct. And he had to have, like, I don't have anyone that could do that for me. I have no one. I don't know of anyone that would be willing to go settle do all that. So that just didn't make sense, you know. And there was another. Oh, the other reason I wanted to do it, like I said, is that it kind of takes the pulse of where we are. Okay, a year ago, when she was doing it, when Jessica was doing it, they were really working hard to get her out of her rights. But see, now we have that she was under Tefang, that he was the president of the count of the police commission. Now we have Errol Southers, and so totally different. So it gives us a pulse of where we are with the city. And when I went to the police commission, and I'm thanking them, and I'm talking to them, and I tell them it's peaceful, they're all looking me straight in the eye, chief, everybody, and they're acquiescing, like they are. There's a level of support right now, I feel, because they do see us coming, being passionate. It's not just me, all our callers, or when I ever get to get, whenever they open up Zoom, like we're making headway. These meetings and their meeting crew. I don't know if everyone really realizes the significance and the impact that has had on just changing how they're viewing us, on how they're viewing Scientology. There is a shift happening, and I want to thank everyone that's been calling and going to these meetings because it is making a difference.
Okay, so is that everything on that topic before we move on
I,
to the?
I think so, unless anyone has questions. I'm sorry, guys. I haven't
Yeah,
been
like,
following. I didn't see chat. I know how to get to it now, but I'm still trying to get
so if
maybe a
anyone
little
has
bit
a
into that.
question about why the permit is necessary, anything she did not answer, type that into the chat. We'll come back to that. Um, I wanted to move on to the the bigger situation, the thing that people are talking about more, if that's okay with you. Uh, somehow your phone went
So,
out. Okay.
yeah. No, my
Okay.
phone's on, but it's just
So
like it bumped me out.
so what I was saying is if anyone has questions, they can put it in the chat. But we're gonna move on to what everyone's talking about right now. You know, the Aaron stream, if that's okay
Uh-huh.
with you.
Sure.
Are you
Why not?
okay? 'Cause, I mean, everyone's talking about it, so whatever.
Mhm.
But like, I remember the whole time you've been talking about this permitted protest, I heard a theme from you where you were talking about
Mhm.
put your issues aside for that day, for this protest, for this event. You know, the 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 day after, go back to whatever. But for this, it's a day of like uniting and not beefing and, just drop it for that day. That's the theme I heard through the whole thing. So,
Absolutely.
like, I feel what you going on Aaron's stream in a way is you not just talking the talk, but you're walking the walk. I mean, it's weird because you're in a wheelchair, so I'm sorry, no offense or
No,
anything.
that doesn't offend me. Well, yeah,
But
I mean,
it's like
yeah.
you're doing what you're asking people to do. Like, I don't want to assume your position on anything, but he's sort of been, people in the community know about Aaron and what several people have said he's done, and they have really strong views on him. So I don't know, specifically what your views are on him, but I know what you stand for and stuff. So I feel like you're doing what you're asking people to do with dropping it because it's for the bigger picture of, and let me stop there. You didn't ask him to be on his stream, right?
No, I didn't. No, I did not ask him. Like I mean, Aaron and I are not friends. We've never like really, I mean, really talked. I always felt there was some kind of, I don't know, like I don't feel like wanted or popular, or wanted by him at all. But that being said, and I think this is so much because of everything that's going on. And like I don't want to get into too much of that, but for me, okay, there's a lot of people. There was a lot of people, a lot of channels bugging them, like basically challenging the bigger channels. Why aren't you covering this? And basically challenging, oh, do you not care about science? Like really kind of challenging them. I would almost say egging them on. I mean, let's just, if I want to be honest. And and I didn't expect anything from it. I just thought because I know that him and Natalie kind of did a video where saying like, hey, like we don't have to do like like we don't have to give into pressure. These are our channels, and we gonna interview or do what we see fit. They didn't say anything personally about anyone, but I kind of got the vibe that and I 100% agree with them. Like I absolutely agree with them. It is their channels, and I respect that. And I don't think that if they don't promote it, that means that they don't care about Scientology. I mean, I just think there's so much whatever, I don't even know how to describe it, negativity, toxicity, whatever, from every way. It's not just one way, it's back and forth. I mean, I'm just going to keep it real. It's all over the place. It's like a swirling bowl of toxicity. And so I really didn't blame anyone. But I'm the type, but I said I don't want. Like I'm the type. I'll talk to anybody. I can, and maybe it's just from my experiences. Okay, I used to work for public defenders. As when I interned for them for a long time, I used to have to interview the worst criminal, like real like I'm talking murderers or whatever. I had to help prepare their defense. I had to talk to them. I had to gain their trust so they can tell me their stories. So it's just my training from a long time. I come from a background of criminal justice and stuff. So I'm so used to talking to people that most people would probably want to avoid, never want to cross, whatever. And so for me, it's like nothing here, like not, yes, okay, there may be things I don't like about things. There's things I don't agree with. There's things I find, different for different things, different people, whatever. You might not like it, but does it mean that I can't talk to them? Maybe other people feel that way, but that's never been me. Okay. I'm the type, I talk to everyone, like if they're willing to talk to me. And I mean, like anyone. And so, does it mean that everyone has to be friends just because they have a conversation? No. Does it mean because you have a conversation that it means you sign off on everything they do? No. Does it mean that you can't talk to someone even though maybe I talk to people that have hurt me deeply? Like I'm willing to talk to even the people who have hurt me deeply in my life. I will gladly sit down and have a conversation with them because that's just who I am. Okay. Like there's a point in time where people have to be true to who they are. Okay. So I can respect other people. Like, if somebody has a boundary and they don't want to talk to somebody who, would ever have a conversation with this person, that person, that's fine. I'll respect that boundary. But I have my own boundaries and my own ways of doing things. And that is, I am open to talking to everyone and I'm not changing for anyone. And that's just it. And I'm not trying to have any sass or attitude about it, but that's it.
Okay,
So
can I say something about or let me ask you this. Just full transparency with one listening to this, okay? When I found out shortly before you were gonna do the stream, how did I react? What was my first reaction?
She freaked out. And Ganja, I consider you a real friend, like somebody like real life friend. And she was freaked out and I think other people, people would too. But and when it happened, okay, I'll if you want the explanation of what happened, okay, I guess whatever. I don't know what changed his mind because one day I saw that we're not going to be pressured into doing this because people are asking, like stop it. It's our channel. And I agreed with him. I 100% agree with that. Like that's his channel, not mine. And I never asked him. I never asked Natalie. I never asked anyone really. It's hard for me to ask for things. So I've never asked anyone to do anything. But there was a lot of pressure. And I think at the end of the day, whether people agree with me or not, I think he is truly anti-Scientology. And I think he realized that this is going to be a major, it's going to hurt them or screw them, whatever, and upset them. And he's there for it. And so I don't want to put any motivations in his, head. I don't hate anyone. Okay. That's another thing I have to say. I don't hate anyone. I do not hate Aaron. I do not hate ZDT. Whoever's the boogeyman in any of this, I don't hate any of them. Doesn't mean I have to agree with everything. It doesn't mean I have to like what people do or have done or, whatever, but I don't have to be filled with hate. I just refuse to. And so whatever, but whatever happened, whatever his reasons, whatever, he reached out to me very politely, very, and just said, hey, would you like to come on and promote this? And of course I'm thinking, okay, well, this is not going to make everybody happy. And like I said, I'm willing to talk to everybody. So me, yeah, I'm willing. I mean, like, and because I like dialogue. I'm hoping that by talking to people, we can come to common ground or something. We can work on something. Because I'm a big believer that people grow, people change, people can have redemption. Like I'm a big believer in redemption, and I make that open to everyone. Like, and that's just me. And if that makes me a bad guy or whatever, then I'll accept it. I'll be the bad guy, bad actor, whatever. Okay. I just believe that people can change. Or I believe and hope that people will grow. So anyway, so he did reach out, and I didn't answer right away. I mean, like I needed to think. I was like, because I know it was going to be, I felt like I'm in one of those damned if I do, damned if I don't situations. And a part of me just feels like, listen to my own mind is just, but I'm not like that. And I, talked to Gonza. She was not happy, but I said, but Gonza, I said, I'm a hypocrite. If I'm telling everyone to put their swords down for a day for the kids, like, because that's my whole goal. You know me, I don't get into any of the drama. I don't listen to it. I don't want to know who's on the scorecard, who I can talk to. I don't want to know. Okay, I just want to know. I want to stop this cult, because yeah, we go through a lot to do it. Like like really, we go through a lot emotionally, fear, all these things. There's all these working elements that people don't even know what we go through. Okay. And I'm not doing it. I'm not going to put all myself and all my energy, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, out there for interpersonal stuff. Y'all are grown-ups, all adults. You guys work out your own stuff. I'm just fighting a cult. So I had to ask myself, okay, here's a channel. I mean, here's somebody who is very prominent in this arena of Scientology. Okay. Extremely, very big channel. Okay. He's asking me if I want to promote something that is absolutely going against Scientology. Okay. But then at the same time, there's all this conflict because there's all this interpersonal stuff going on, which really isn't my business. He's never done anything to me, and whatever. And I'm not trying to be insensitive, but I'm just not the type of person that's going to go and be mean to somebody because somebody else has issues with you. It's just not who I am. And so so then but the only thing I was considering, really the only thing was, besides wanting to get this thing out there so we can make it bigger, because that's also for safety. I want it bigger, not for my own ego, because if 5 people show, I'd be thrilled. I want it bigger to send them a message that we are a large organization, that we are getting bigger. Their numbers are shrinking, ours aren't. Okay, I want to send a message. That's what's clear to me. But at the same time, I don't want anyone hurt or harmed. And so it put me in a really, it's tough predicament. And, because, I know that I knew what was going to happen. I knew, okay, I knew. But I wanted to, there's 2 people that I cared about how they felt. And sorry, guys, I mean, I care about how you felt, don't get me wrong. But it was Laura and Serge, because they're the 2 people. I mean, Aaron isn't the reason I fight Scientology. DOA is not the reason. Gonza's not the reason. Mona, the 2 people that got me to fight, that inspired me to fight this and made it a lifelong, passion until, whatever, until the job's done, hopefully, it was Laura and Serge. And I reached out to them and told them, and it's not for me to say what the conversation was. I don't feel like I should do that. But I will say this: if either one of them gave me any inkling that this would hurt them or that I shouldn't do it, I wouldn't have done it. I'll say that. Okay. And then I worried about, because I know there's people who are very much, I asked Ganja, I said, is there any, like, who else do I need to talk to? I really don't know who's all in his chats and all that. I really don't follow it. And so Ganja, thank God, she's, she let me know who I could, talk to and just make sure they know. Okay. And and I know they didn't like it, whatever, but I did my due diligence to try to consider people that would be hurt. But at the end of the day, then I had to ask myself, what am I fighting? Okay. Am I fighting interpersonal hurts and things and wounds that which I do take seriously? Don't get me wrong. I do not discount those wounds. I do not discount and see like all I see is that everything is escalation, and it's all the more reason why we need de-escalation. Okay, because that's what happens, right? One person does one thing, and then the other one does it, and then they back and forth. So everyone's doing, saying and doing things that they wouldn't have maybe said or done under different circumstances. But that's what escalation does. And I'm not an escalator. I like de-escalation. That's my training. That's my professional training. Okay, is de-escalation. Um, and so so I am, so I'm trying to mitigate all that. But I'm a hypocrite if I'm telling everyone else to put it down for a day, okay, and just go back the next day and hate each other, okay. Do it. And I even told, and I did, even with ZDT, when the fires happened, I went into his thing and and he seemed very forlorn. And I just went in there and I said, hey, like, I hope you're okay with the fire. I hope you're okay. We can go hate each other tomorrow, but I'm just here to make sure you're okay. If I can do that with ZDT, okay. I mean, and he actually appreciated it. We had a moment of like one day where we were just human with each other. We both saw the humanity in each other and in all of us. Okay. He was like saying, if he even said, like, if DOA and streets were, in a fire, he would find a way to haul them out. He goes, it was just a day to drop it. Okay. And I found that inspiring, that if he could drop it for one freaking day with the fire, why can't we drop it? Because I kind of think, for one day. If we can't, we can't. Okay, then maybe I have pie in the sky dreams and I just have like this utopian view of what's possible. Could be, like, I'll accept that. But I'm not going to not lead by example. Okay. And I'm certainly not going to lead by hate, because I don't hate. And like I said, I talk to everyone. And it's not to say, not in a defiant way, like, hey, you don't dare tell me who to talk to. It's not like that. I try to be respectful of everyone's feelings. But at the end of the day, we're fighting a cult. I need to get this out there. I want numbers. And if people just want to stop off and not have support, whatever, that's fine too. In the moment, I did what I felt was best for the movement, not for us. I'm talking about fighting Scientology. And if I'm wrong and I made the mistake, we all can look back in history. Hindsight is 2020 vision, right? If I did the wrong thing, then you know what? Mea culpa, mea culpa. Okay. I will live with that. I will live with that. But
Okay,
I don't regret, like, making the decision to put things aside and do what I feel is best to fight Scientology. I don't feel bad about that.
so I have a question, but I'm gonna just sum everything up and tell me if I have this right. There were a lot of people that were pressuring him to, why aren't the bigger channels, covering stuff? There was a lot of people that were just doing it like nonstop. And he caved in or made the decision, whatever, and he
Yeah.
emailed you. You did not email him, you did not reach out to
No,
him.
I never reached out or even
Okay,
asked them.
so
Nothing. Not
so
even to Natalie.
where I'm going with this is, if other people would have, messaged you and said, I want to help out with this protest, come on my stream, you would have went on other people's streams, right? Like, if
Absolutely. Nobody asked me. If I didn't, like I said, I didn't ask him. He asked me. He's the only stream that asked me.
so you
No
weren't
other streams.
choosing him over other people. You weren't choosing
No.
to do a stream with him over doing a stream with anyone else. Like,
Anyone.
people, Smoke and Scan. Smoke and Scan is like a big deal where I don't know how you would contact him. I don't know if you have email contact with him or whatever. Maybe on the stream you could, but I don't know. It seemed like,
But that's not feasible for me.
but Aaron came to you. So if someone else would have came to you, it's not like you chose him, is the main thing with that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go seek out any, like, I'm just, I put it out there on my, like universe, like this is what I would love, not to, I mean, that I'm doing this if anyone wants to share or whatever, but I never sought out anyone to do it. But I saw the comments about why not ask Smoke and Scan. Smoke and Scan is, I love Smoke and Scan, don't get me wrong. And I'm very grateful that for, but that he's not anti Scientology. Um, that's not his thing. And I don't feel right asking him to promote this or to ask him. I mean, I invited him, I'll invite all of them and maybe they'll come. I would love that. But I don't feel like it's like professionally, he's not within the genre. So I didn't ask anyone within our genre. Why would I go outside of our genre and ask anyone? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if Smoke and Scan reaches out to me and say, "Hey, you want to come on my channel and promote your thing?" I'd be like, "Sure, let's do it." And it would be a lot less conflicting, whatever. Because and I have a feeling that it was conflicting for Aaron because I think talking to me kind of goes against what some of the things he's feeling. I think it was hard for him to even ask me, and so I give him, like, I'm sorry, I can give people credit for that. Like I think it was probably difficult. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, um, but the other thing I want to say too is that I also felt that with everybody, so, I mean, there was a lot of numerous people challenging the big channels to do this. Okay, and they did it. Like, would I be hurting? I was thinking, like, I'm going to be hurting or stepping on the toes for people who have been advocating for this. They got what they asked for, and
Well,
then
okay,
so what am
I
I going
want
to
to
do?
say
Say screw
something.
you and like no?
I want to say something before I forget this. Okay, that reminds me of for for most people in here, you already know what's going on. But when when you announced on Memorial Day about the permit, you were talking about it. Scientology went out later that day and they tried to do a permit. And to make a long story short, they because you did the permit first, they may have had a chance of doing their permit at the same time if they negotiated with you. And they requested a meeting and they, didn't expect you to say yes, in my opinion. And you did, and they no showed. And it's like you couldn't like you had to like I don't know why they thought you weren't going to call their bluff, but maybe Jennifer is in on it. I don't know. But what I'm saying is you couldn't have just like no showed with Aaron, or could you have? Like if he's making the effort and he's emailing you and no one else has
Exactly.
emailed and said, "Come on my stream, talk about it." No one else reached out and offered you at that point. Like I
Yes,
don't
no,
get
I can't do that. Like that steps on the toes of the people who ask them. Like that to me, like is offensive to them. Like why do I have to pick one person? I don't want to offend this person, but then I have to offend this person so I don't offend that person. That doesn't seem fair either. People asked the big channels to do it. One big channel did it. And okay, and I'm taking the heat for it. I'll accept it. I'm okay with it. Like actually, really, I am okay with it because I did everything like I feel like to prepare, to do it and did it right. And I did it very carefully, whatever. And then I went, we did it and we stuck on topic. I didn't know, I found out later that the chat was crazy. I wasn't looking at chat. You know me, I don't really look at chat, but I definitely, that I was nervous. I didn't know, I've never been on with Aaron. So I didn't know what to expect. So I just, I just didn't watch any of that. So for
and
me,
as
from
you
my
said,
perspective, he kept it respectful and on topic. He didn't get
you
off topic
had
and
no
start talking
idea
about the drama.
you had no idea about the thumbnail, correct?
I had zero idea about he literally like 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes before going on, he's like, I'm making the thumbnail and and then I'll send you the link. I'm going out to try to find out because I had nowhere. I had to go and find a place to go. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, maybe I'm dumb. Like maybe this is my stupidity, but I didn't. Well, I didn't see this thumbnail until after. I went after to kind of go and see what was going. To look at it. To see. And I saw the thumbnail. At first, I didn't even know that the thumbnail was a problem because to me, that's how Laura looks. Like whenever I see her right protesting, she's with her, like proud SP, the golden rod. So I honestly, even if I had seen it, which I hadn't, I give you my word, I wouldn't have even realized in the moment that it was a problem. Okay, I wouldn't have even known. So I didn't see it, but if I had, I wouldn't have known. It didn't even dawn on me till afterwards. I'm like, what would the problem be? But then I get it. Okay. After I think about it, then I got it. But
Yeah, because
you
for me,
know,
like the fact she had the SPTV shirt on, I think that was, an extra
I
thing.
get it
Like,
now. Yeah, I just at the moment I didn't think of that. You know, what I mean, because you have to understand. I honestly, literally, don't go follow all the like the this and the that's and what everyone's. I just don't. I don't have the bandwidth for it. It's like I have a choice. Am I going to fight Scientology? Or am I going to sit there and wait? You know, like for me, like for if I had to watch everyone's stream, like I want to watch people stream because I say, oh, they're here and I want to see what's going on there. But if I had to watch all these like I call them talking head streams to see what these people are, what everyone's saying, what's I don't. Then I'm not editing or I'm not doing my CPRAs or I've only have a certain amount of hours in a day, and I spend so many of them as it is, like so many. I mean, I have been straight. I haven't, except for, I mean, okay, I had a lunch break, but still I was streaming. I've been going on since 7 a.m. and I'll probably go on until midnight tonight, just doing what I have to do. I just, so if I'm listening sometimes to people's streams, I may listen to here and there. I'm not reading the chat. I just don't have, I may stop in and say hi to chat, but then if you notice, does anyone ever really see me in chats? No, you're not, because I'm doing other things. And because I honestly feel is it's taken a toll. Okay, doing this it takes a toll on you mentally, physically, in all kinds of ways. I'm not giving up any of that energy for who's this bad player, who's that whatever, who's upset about this, and I can't, guys. I just honestly can't. I would rather walk away and just be done with it than to have to deal with that, because I want my energy. If I'm going to be fair gamed, okay, if I'm going to have to get calls, about funeral planning and all this stuff, then it's going to be to do the most work, okay? And the most work is fighting the cult. I want to get the kids out, and I want to do all those things. I want them unsafe pointed from the city government. That's me. This is my choice, my boundaries, my, who I am. And I can't apologize for that. And the people don't want us, they don't like that. They can't be down with that. Then I respect you. Be well. I wish you the best. I like, me, I'm a Christian. I'm ordered to love my friends and my enemies. And I don't want to have enemies. I don't go seeing people as enemies, but whatever, the point is, it's like, I'm going to wish you well. I'm still going to be good to you. I'm not going to sit there and hate on you. And I'm not going to be and do something horrible to you. But I need to be true to my mission. And that is ending Scientology's grip on Los Angeles. That is my mission. And that's it. And this permit, this day going on his stream, all of it is in that to do that. That's it. Not to have like fights and all this stuff. And if you hate me for it, I love you anyway. Okay. Whoever hates me for it, I love you anyway. And I mean it. And that's all I can say. I don't know what else to do. And if people want to bail and, that's fine. It's okay. I'm going to still show up. And if it's only me, then I'm going to show up, and because I'm still going to take my stand. I can only account for myself. I'm going to go take my stand against this cult. I am going to drop all the beefs, because I have beefs too. People don't realize there's things I have feelings about and things that have been said about me that are untrue. And I just water off a duck's back. I've never, whatever. I'm just letting stuff go, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. For me, whatever, it doesn't matter. But what matters is, and what keeps me up at night is that I don't want another Laura, like who's a child right now in this cult, in those buildings. And Laura took me to the hospice area, and you see these people and the elderly. I'm haunted by who is in that building and what are they going through. I'm haunted by it. And if I think that, and if going on his stream makes it maybe the chance of having more people there to send a message, and if it's backfires and it does the opposite effect, then you know what? Then I failed, I guess, at that mission. But everything in my intent and my heart was just to fight this cult. That's it. And I don't know what else to say. And
well, I'm going to share something that I hear as a common theme from you since I've known you. Okay. You're about looking at the bigger picture, looking at the goal, and you're here to fight Scientology. That's your goal. And
Yes.
you're willing to do things that are uncomfortable that you have to do because that's what's necessary. And you're willing to, you're not just telling people put it aside, one day for the protest. You're actually following through and putting the and again, I will just say for public record, like Aaron is an abuser in my opinion, and I I had an issue with it. I really did. But I looked back at what you had told me, and I'm looking at the bigger picture. Like I'm sorry that my friend's feelings got hurt because of this, because, whatever. But at the same time, like that really, really sucks. But fighting Scientology, I don't want kids to be abused in Scientology anymore. No more kids in Scientology. That is the bottom line for me with everything. So it sucks that there's differences with this. It really sucks. And I will publicly state I want nothing to do with Aaron Smith Levin. I did say, thank you for covering this on his chat at the beginning. I didn't really stick around through, much of it. I went, and came back, whatever. But it's like I I was able to keep my eyes, focused and everything on no more kids in Scientology. You know, something needs to be done. And, you know, there's my opinion, there's not gonna be more people showing up because of his stream. There really isn't. But it's showing that you're willing to put stuff aside for the bigger picture of things. And I really admire that. Like, so I'm trying to be like that. But I did freak out when I first heard about it. But then I thought about that, and like that's what matters the most to me is, staying focused on the bigger picture. And that's because of
Mhm. And I
and I'm
see,
sorry to make it mental, but
Greg. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut off, but it says it was his way to cause division once again. And I don't know. And like when I went into it, I have no idea what people's intentions are. I know what my intent. All I can be accountable is for my intentions. And I am the type of person. Like if you know me, I give benefits of the doubt. I love to give many benefits of the doubt. I love to walk, try to with a mindset towards love. Okay, a mindset towards forgiveness. Like, and I'm not trying to get preachy for people that like, oh, I'm getting churchy. This is just, I'm just trying to tell you how I live the values in my life. Okay, like there's that story where somebody came to Jesus and said, well, do I have to forgive this person? And he goes, yes, you have to forgive. And he says, well, what if he offends me 7 times? Like, do I have to forgive him 7 times, today? And he says, and Jesus's response was, you need to forgive him 70 times 7. Okay, times. And a lot of people, they don't want to live by that standards. That's fine. I respect that, but that's the standard I live by. And so I am always going to try to believe the best in you. And I'll probably, if I'm being duped, then I'm being duped, that and whatever. Um, but I'm always going to try to go in with a heart of second chances, third chances, fourth chances, forgiveness, love, compassion, empathy. And because I'm not out tricking people. I'm not out deceiving people. I'm not expecting it in return. I just am not. If that is the case, then I don't know. I mean, I'm not his judge. I'm not anybody's judge. I don't want to be judge and jury for anyone. I don't know. My opinion is, and maybe my opinion is that he really is anti-Scientology. He doesn't want, like, he's happy to, at the end of the day, and this is just my own opinion, that at the end of the day, he wants the same thing that we want, for them to, that it really puts a damp in their, like a thorn in their side for us to be there that day. That's just my and I like to believe it because I do. I like to. Maybe I'm Mary Poppins, whatever. I like to believe the best, and that's just. I'm going to go with that, okay? Because I don't want to always feel. For me, I don't like interpersonal conflict and hatred and all these. I hate those feelings. I can't function well with them. And I need to be able to function. People don't realize I need to function. What I do, it's not easy. Going to these meetings and spending all day and trying to, like all these, it's not easy. Okay. It's not, I love every second of it, but I need a certain headspace to do it because I'm dealing with corrupt people. I'm dealing with people, and like I'm dealing with Scientology, all these dark, dark, dark things. It's dark. I have to have some light in there. Okay. I have to have some believing the best, whatever. I have to have some grace and just whatever it is. I need that to function. And if you guys can't understand, if not you guys, but whatever, if people don't understand that, that's fine. I'll respect that. But just let me just then go continue being me, doing what I need to do. It will never be from an intention of harming anyone because I don't live my life ever with anyone to try to get, hurt people. Like I said, even with Scientology, I would sit there and help every last one of those people in there. I don't care who they are. Like I come from, I want to have a place of love. Even if people have hurt me, I still want to come from a place of love and forgiveness. Doesn't mean I don't ever get mad or disappointed, but that's my intention. Okay. And my only intention with all of this, all of it, because you can't please everybody, was try to do what was right. And if I'm wrong, then I ask for forgiveness. Okay. Forgive me if I was wrong. And because I make mistakes, I am far from perfect. I make a lot of mistakes, you know, all the time. But then I hope I give out enough grace and love and forgiveness that I will then receive that back. I hope, you know. Um, but right now, this is all messing with me. It is. It's getting me down. And that's what they want, right? That's what Scientology wants, right? They would love me to be depressed and discouraged and down. And so, and they're kind of winning right now. They are. They're kind of winning. And, but I can't let them win. So I have to shut this down and off in my head at this point. Like, that's why, I was happy, to come and talk because Ganja asked me to just clear everything out, answer questions. But then after this, if I'm a bad player, I'm a bad player. If I'm someone who you can forgive and have mercy for it, then thank you. But I got to shut it out because I gotta stay my head in the game. I can't do both. I can't. And when I'm saying I can't do drama, good. How you doing? Hon? It's not because it's like I literally can't. Like I literally can't function in that environment with that. I can't do what I do. So I would just rather walk away, but I can't walk away because there's still children in there and elderly, and so that's it. I don't even know what else to say. But I do thank you for everyone who has been supportive, loving, kind, gracious, merciful, understanding, caring. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love you guys so much, and I thank you. Um,
And I really appreciate you coming on here and opening up and, like you're the type of person you're more about, you know, you you're professional, you do your meetings, you do, that type of thing. And I really appreciate you coming on here and opening up, a more like personal side in a sense, like instead of just meeting talk. And I felt like I saw a lot of misinformation out there, and I felt it was good to, I know you're not the type of person maybe you would have said something during one of your meetings or whatever, but I figured this would be a good way to help, get the information out from you, you know.
yeah, and I see something in the chat about, okay, I don't mind to answer that question um about whatever, the abuser. Like I don't know if you guys realize I have my own history. Okay, I understand the whole trauma thing, okay, and I'm not going to get into the details, but let me just tell you, I understand all kinds of the trauma that we're talking about here. Also, DB, I understand all of those issues, and all I say is, been there, done that. I have forgiven those people in my life. I have had conversations with people who in my life. Okay, I have. And I don't like to give this interpersonal information. I don't like it because it's no one's business, and it just, it's not. But if we're going to talk about that, I am a person that is going to be for forgiveness. Okay, and not that it makes anything right. It doesn't justify. It doesn't. But I am not going to sit there and live my life and have to, like, okay, I can't talk, like I'm going down the street. I say hi to someone. Well, wait a minute. Maybe he did something wrong in his life. Okay. I believe that in redemption, I believe that people grow and people change. Okay. And I really don't want to talk about what people did 5 years ago if they're not doing it now. If they're doing it now, okay, then I want to deal with them in a different way, and say, like, why do you do it? Whatever, do better, whatever you want to say. Okay. But I've talked to people who have committed heinous crimes, and I have sat down and one on one and talked to them, and I try to find out who they are as a human being. Like, you don't have to get to know everybody in a deeper level, and I'm not going to go be friends and buddies. We're not going to go play golf, whatever. But I can have a conversation with people, and if you can't, that's fine. But I can, and I can just not have to feel like I have to be the judge and jury. Okay. And I have been victimized, like, horribly. If you ever know my story, I will tell you, horribly. Okay. That's why I'm so passionate about this. Okay. It is personal for me. But the thing is, I didn't have the added burden of an institution that was institutionalizing this abuse. Okay. There's a lot of people, you get abused, but then there's the abuse within an institution that institutionalized. That's why this is so personal for me. And so, yes, I can talk to people who have done bad things. I've done it for many, many years. I mean, that was my career. Okay. I mean, you know, so yes, I can. And if that is something that bothers you, then just, that's fine. You can go, you don't have to, you can just ignore me. But I'm not changing. I am not. I'm going to stick with, I will talk with anyone. As long as we're, now I'm not going to go sit there, there's a difference between going and having the beer or whatever and drinking and yucking it up, or having a talk about, like Scientology and, and what to do about it. Okay. I don't have to sit there and have your history, your criminal history, whatever. I've talked to people who are ex-cons, ex-felons. I do. I mean, I talk to people, man, I talk to people like I talk to, people who, they got, gang violence, all kinds of things, all kinds of stuff. I've talked to people. Okay. I mean, it's what I can't go through life. Like, okay. Oh, like, let me see your resume and see, like, whether or not I can have a conversation with you. I don't work that way. That would make me insane. Like, I can't go that way. Can't, will not. And so, yes, I can have a conversation about ending Scientology and asking people to, to come and all that stuff. And if it doesn't increase the numbers, then okay, it didn't. But I don't know. Maybe it happened so this can all be discussed, because maybe there needs to be a time of healing. Maybe it's a time where we can, even if we can't be in agreement, maybe we can't come together. I was hoping for one day we could, because I'm always for the peacemaker. I always want peace, but maybe it's good that we can just talk about these things out in the open across the board, and then everyone's hearing it. That's just, but other than that, I don't know what to say. But that's my answer to you, Bev.
Okay. And I starred a few comments. But you were talking about something else, so I was gonna save them for later. Amy says, has anyone said anything to you about us calling into the meetings? So I guess like commissioners or police commission, or has anyone mentioned anything about the callers, I guess? Or
Well,
I don't.
what? I mean, I would have to think about that. I know that Commissioner Corsan like said he thanked us. And I bumped into him yesterday, and he did ask. He goes, "So, how's the new, how's the new commission without him treating us?" And I said, "They're treating us good." I said, "We kind of miss you, you know what I mean? But not the timing thing. We don't miss that, but but I thanked them. I said, thank you that you guys, they were nice to us. They weren't, and but I can't think of anything else, Amy. I'll have to dig in my mind and think if I can remember anything. My brain's a little fried today, so sorry if I seem like my brain is a little fried today. Today's been a long day, and then yesterday was long, and what I mean. So I'm not really at my best right now.
All right. And I, I don't know if there's anything. Is there any other topic that you wanted to bring up while we're here? Or I think we covered a lot, but I don't necessarily want to just end it on such a deep, heavy conversation. So, was there anything else? Let's talk about. Okay, so the GoFundMe is actually like pretty close to the amount. But even if the amount wasn't met with what is there now, that that is enough to pull things off.
We're going to pull things off, whatever it is. I'm a big believer in that things will work out the way they're meant to. The people that are meant to be, that were meant to be there are going to be there, and I just believe that. And I just want it to be. I'm trying. I'm still waiting on him to see whether or not I can order a porta potty because I would love to be able to do that. I want to make sure we have all the security we need because I do expect that I don't expect that anything bad necessarily is going to happen, but I just think it's good to have eyes, more eyes that people who are there trained to make sure that everything is smooth, and it just sends a message. I want to have fun in life. Like I don't know. I don't know if you caught my thing with shirt guy today. Like I am someone I'm very serious about what I do. Like what I'm doing, I'm very serious about what I do. But I like to be lighthearted in the process. I don't want life to always be so stodgy and that we can't have joy in the midst of fighting horrible battles, right? Fighting evil, fighting all these horrible things. It can haunt you. It's like I can either let it, really mentally mess with me, or I can just find ways to just. That's why I go. That's why I banter with them. Do I not think that these people may be like totally corrupt? Okay, but I'm still going to try to find their humanity, find the banter, and that's what I would love. I would love to this day to just be where we can just enjoy each other or enjoy life and just have fun. And if we can't, I don't know that we got two sidewalks and a lot of space. We could just kind of go our separate. One group. Some people can go down here. Whatever we have to do. I just am asking for peace, no fighting. Just I kind of like what Sunshine said, right? World peace starts here, and so that's Hollywood, right? That's what he says. It starts there in Hollywood. So why can't we add on to that? We're not going to solve all the problems overnight, but can we just try to just, I don't know. I don't even know what the answer, but thank you, Gonza. And thank you everyone, anyone that, for listening and for all you guys do. Everyone's doing something, right? I mean, even if it's just supporting or caring or loving and and being there for people, the boots on the ground, whatever. It's so appreciated, and and that's it. I guess I don't know. You're right. You got to find Holly. That's it. You got to find the balance. I can't cry all the time. I have to. If I don't laugh, then I don't know. Then what's the point of what? Like for me, it's not worth living with that if you can't find joy in life.
Well, okay, that's one thing I wanted to
Oh, I'm sorry,
mention.
Erica.
Does does anyone have a way to talk to what's her name? Joy Vila? Didn't does
Yeah,
she
I
like
would love for her to
that
go.
person who's like a celebrity, and like that would be so awesome if she could show up, or even like Leah Remini. Like it would be awesome if these people, like I know people have issues with the aftermath, but everyone come together like the Headleys.
One
That would be
day.
they would pop up, or even just make an appearance. Don't hang out all day if you don't want to, but just, you know, I don't know. It would be cool for a bunch of just people that we don't think of as, you know, uniting in a sense, being able to put things aside and show Scientology, look, we're able to drop it because this is such a big thing. This is bigger than that. Like, that's powerful to show Scientology that.
I would love it. And thank you, Marie, and thank you. And I was just acknowledge Eric. I am so sorry for your loss. And and I also want to bring, like, I mean, we also, I guess what I do want to mention is that the event is called Dear Dead ADA Rally. Okay. And so there's also the ADA element. It's not just like I've seen a lot of people saying, oh, this is supposed to be about, one thing, and it's not. It's part of it. It's also about no more kids in Scientology, and no more child brides, and no more abusing the ADA community with all those planners. Because our team, we worked hard, and we worked really hard, and we got to get those planners gone. So it is very much about the respect of the ADA community as well, and just it is a bigger, broader picture. It's not just a one little thing, and and so whatever it is, I just want it to grow. It's I want it to be about no more, like, you're not going to safe point our government anymore. And for me, that's part of, like, I to stand there. That's what one of the big victories for me is, that this you don't have the safe pointing that you used to, and that is, you guys, like, they deserve a lot of credit. All these people calling into these meetings and coming in, because you know what, I could have been doing it by myself, and not to say in one person, no, but when you have 8 to 10 people coming 3 times a week to tell you the same thing a year, that makes an impression. That is powerful. And they are doing it. And so you guys are stars. You guys are amazing. And I thank you. And I love it that I love seeing the growth in all the callers, and people starting out scared. And now they're, they just love it so much. They're addicted to it. They're like, oh man, and because it's just so freeing, right? And it's just so amazing. But you're making a difference. You are so making a difference. And then Florida is kind of catching on to that a bit. And that, they were shocked about, they thought it was a done deal, and here it wasn't a done deal. It's like, no, it's not a done deal. We're we're setting a standard and a protocol and a prototype to take anywhere, any city, whatever. So I'm really proud. I'm not gonna say I felt weird saying my team, because it's not like there's no leader here, but I'm proud of this group and this team, and then all the people that are in the chat encouraging as we're doing it. It's like that helps so much. So I want to end. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to end it, but, like, I just want to talk about something positive and good, and it's these people calling in and making a difference. Yes, they are noticing. If they're not saying anything to me, they are being friendlier. Like, they're saying, I mean, there's like a level of respect. Like, I go in, or I'm going down the street, they'll say hi to, like, the council people. Like, at first they were standoffish, now they'll say hi, and they're gab a little bit. We're making because we're friendly. We talk, we just are conversational, and that's just my personality too. Like, that's just how I am. So that's how I am with everyone. I want to be able to talk, and but I won't rehash. I think you guys heard me, I hope.
Yeah, and again, I want to reiterate, like, thank you for coming on here and opening up. Is there any meetings tomorrow? Tomorrow is
Not for city council. We should look, because maybe there's like ethics committee. Um, like, I'm just too tired. Otherwise, I'm glad that Henry's covering the court case. I'm just kind of exhausted. I'm exhausted. I was thinking of going Friday, but really, I probably won't, because I just kind of need to take care of. Well, first of all, I have a lot of planning to do and stuff, but um, I'm still, like, just want to just kind of rest and keep recovering. And yes, and I agree. Thank you, Ganja, for doing this and for taking the bulls by the horn. She's a good leader. She's a good.
I'm
Um,
not a leader. I'm not a leader. Like,
you
that
are a
word is,
leader type. You're leading this discussion. So you are. And
but still, in context, that word has been made bad. Like, that's toxic to say that word. But
I'm
no,
sorry. Okay, forgive me. Forget that word. See, I forget. I don't know all the lingo. I don't know what we can say or can't say, because So I don't know. So I thank God. I always had like Gonzo would always tell me like, yeah, don't do this, you can't do that, whatever. Because I don't know. I don't have the score. I'll be honest. I don't have the score sheet. But I'll just say she's taking the bulls by the horn and leading this conversation. It's a difficult conversation. I hope I made it myself clear. If anyone has questions, I'm willing to answer them as best to my ability.
Yeah, and like
Hey,
I
Laura.
think you.
Love you.
Oh, she's just coming. Do you know what? Let's stick on for a little bit more because I hate that when people come in and we're just ending. I know you're tired,
Hi. I
but
It's go ahead.
I did ask you so about the protest. Okay, to sum things up, we were talking about the permit is not necessary, but there's a lot of pros to it. So there's like the security of having security and the police there, and it's in paper that, on paper that there's the permit for the sidewalk. So you can't be told that you're loitering. And so it has
And
like,
they can't loiter though, because we can keep them pushing. And that's like where I said I'm a little bit like kind of get like kind of to me it's kind of funny that I get to tell like I'm hoping that Ted is there. Like I say, Ted, you can cross, but you can't stay there. Like there's a little pettiness there for me too. There's a whole lot of things in it, but also intimidation factor that I was really concerned that without it too, that they would be able to stand there and try to own the thing, and then it would be a lot of conflict. There would be no one involved, no one knowing what we're doing, and then and with the permit they can only do so much. Without it they would have been really able to put, because now if they've tried to put barriers there, because I say we're advertising it without the permit, they could put all these barriers out there, and they may try, but see now with the permit, and then we've been announcing it at the meetings and everyone knows it's not going to fare well for them if they try to do that. Like they did with the encampment, right? They put all the planners around and to stop that. So if they try to do that with us, then I think the city's going to have a problem with them. And
so
so that was also another consideration.
I
Can
don't
you
remember specifically.
Laura
Uh,
wants to join.
okay. Can you text her the thing? Or
I
because
can't because I don't have her on this phone. Like I'm on the other phone. My other phone died.
let me see if I can. I've never texted in chat on StreamYard. Okay, hold on. I gotta
Ted, move along.
invite.
I hope I get to do that. And right, that's another thing. Right, it's the first time we have a permit for that street, and that's what I mean. That's the other. That's like for a feather in the cap moment. Like it's something that like yeah, of course we know don't need it because hi, good, how you doing? No, I'm just talking to. Thank you. Um, like we, like because we know
Okay,
anonymous and everyone did it without the permit, but the
this
cops
link right
kind
here
of.
is only for Lara. Okay, so Lara, click that link and you can join, but only Lara. I'm not gonna add anyone else. So I mean, you can try, but you'll be backstage or something. But that should be the link. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
No, it's okay. I'm just waiting for Bike Guy to get done eating dinner, and then I'm just waiting so I can get home before my phone dies. My other phone.
yeah. But let's see. I don't see her in the backstage yet.
So I had to copy and paste, or I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Like I don't have the premium StreamYard. I had you and Mona on at the same time, so yeah, I can have two
Thanks.
people on.
Thank you. I'm not going to go in and thank you. I
Um,
got it.
okay, there she is. Oh, awesome, and
Oh,
she's not alone. Okay,
Hi.
sorry.
so we got Laura and Valerie, right?
Yeah. Hi, guys.
You guys are the reasons that we do this. You are the reasons for so much of us. You two, along with the others, you guys motivate us. I just have to tell you that personally, like for real.
And what you guys are doing is amazing, but it's definitely, it's tricky for sure. and you need to tell them how you feel.
Valerie's like, go and tell them what you're saying, and there shouldn't be a reason that like I should be allowed to be able to communicate what I want to say, and I shouldn't feel bad about what I want to say.
Totally not.
I did
Exactly.
talk to I did, and I want to say this now, and I was even like, maybe you know what, Valerie, I'll do a live stream later or whatever, or maybe I won't, but like I just feel so weird that like there's a lot of obvious things about this. Like that me and Audit and Gina really put this in to do something to really prove a point through that, like Scientology can't just like say that the city and fellow neighborhood, people can't just have a permit and like do their own kind of thing. Like Scientology literally thinks we're all enemies now just for Audit pulling out that permit, and Gina and everybody doing the work, all of us doing the work. I feel fucking weird. I did tell Audit, honestly, I did tell Audit that I was fucking very much not okay with Aaron, and that, you
Yeah, that you
know,
hated him, but
That's
you didn't
not
tell me
okay.
not to do it. Like
Audit,
I didn't.
wait, let me
Okay,
just
go ahead.
say what I'm saying
Yes,
in the moment
yes,
with my
ma'am.
friend who's allowing
Yes,
me to feel what I'm feeling.
of course. And I let you do that too. You go for it.
I did tell, I feel like you interrupted me, honestly, Audit, right now because you did hear that I didn't want you to do that. So, anyways, I'll say what I
Okay.
said. When we talked, you called me saying you and Mona had already spoken and that you accidentally already agreed to saying yes to it. So if we want to really break it down, that felt very upsetting to me. And it wasn't just because it was Aaron. It was that we had a trust and an understanding that I am sensitive to certain things and that I personally have gone through so much because I've had to break up with Scott and all of the shit that I personally have gone through. And it's not comfortable. It's not, so much shit I'm dealing with. And so I didn't think it was okay. And I said, if you do this, Aaron will do this as an attack on Scott. And what happened, whether I'm not talking to Scott right now. Like I'm literally not talking. I'm so fucking disturbed I'm triggered by a lot of stuff. So it didn't matter that I have my own disagreements and upset with Scott. The fact that Aaron used my thumbnail audit, okay, and it was a thumbnail of something that me and Scott were protesting Elizabeth Moss together. He took that photo from something that me and Scott had done together when things were fine. Okay. Aaron is very manipulative. And I say that in not even a rude way. Everybody can be manipulative. Aaron had a very intentional tactic, being okay with being like, oh, fine, I'm getting pressure, I guess, from people to not promote this, protest. You could have gone on streets protests. You could have gone on, there's so many other, anyways, I have my own opinions. I have my own feelings. I feel so fucked by this because I feel like the way through taking down Scientology is by being transparent and honest. And it doesn't matter if people hate Scott and people hate me and they think that, like, are you serious? Like Becky was talking to Moxon Audit. I know you think that's fine
No,
in
I
some
don't think
degree.
that's fine. No, no, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no.
I
Wait, let
don't.
me finish. Let me finish. I know you think that's fine in some degree if you were talking to Moxon in the way that you would have if you had to say, oh, if they want to pull a permit at the same time we're trying to pull a permit, and there happens to be a reason I have to talk to Moxon or have to talk to Kristen Peterson, sure. Let's see what we can work out. In fact, it would be even better for our protest if they did try to close down the street for something, whatever, like it would just be like, good, we're going to tell the inside members even more that they can leave and that this is a Father's Day protest and we want to end the family disconnection. I'm just saying there's ways to go about it. There's things that could have been done. And I think that even you got lost in like, oh, well, Aaron's the biggest channel on that. No, there, it's actually not true. Streets LA, actually, who you've had more of a connection with, okay, that would have been more transparent than putting up Aaron when you knew that Aaron had not fucking stood up or like healed on anything. He's not done anything openly and healed in the community to make us go, okay, Aaron, we understand what we all need to heal. We all have to go through stuff. But I did audit. Our conversation was, I'm not happy. I told you, I understand whatever you have to do, but I will not be okay with this. And then Aaron goes and puts a thumbnail of this photo, which I'm sure you don't know where that photo thumbnail came from.
No,
But
I
that
didn't,
was
and I didn't even
directed
know
at
about this
Scott.
thumbnail until
Okay.
after.
And I'm not even trying to look, I don't want to make Aaron's, manipulative little ways the issue. I'm not even trying to make that the thing. Like the moment that somebody was talking crazy crap about like animal abuse in your chat, you were like, no way. You broke down. And I saw that later on your live stream that you broke down in tears. And then I met up with you in lunch and we were like, no, we're going to ban that. We're not going to allow that. But then when you went up and because I guess maybe you weren't, no, the fact that you were like, oh, I didn't see the chat, that's not okay. That's not okay. And I'm allowed to say that. I respect and love you, Audit, so much. And I do appreciate even Ganja Girl coming in later. I saw on another stream saying, hey, Scott, no. Laura had every right to say gross when I felt how I felt about somebody saying it's okay that like child abuse is okay. It's not.
It's not okay. But Laura, and if I misunderstood our conversation, then I apologize to you. Because when I heard from our conversation, and I am not going to lie to you, this is what I heard. That I heard you say, I hate him. And at the time you were mad at Scott, like, I hate both of them right now, but I don't want that to cloud what you think might be okay or what you think needs to be done. That's what I heard. Because if you had said, no, don't do this. I don't want you to do this. I would not have done it, Laura. Or
Wait,
if
no, no,
Serge had
no.
said,
Do you
yeah,
not
I'm telling you,
remember?
that's what I heard.
Audit. I'm sure what you want to hear is going to be, especially with the intentions that you're trying to make something epic and awesome. But the first thing I said is, I do not like Aaron right now. And
No,
I
you told me
said,
that. Yeah, I admit
okay,
that. You
wait,
did say
let me
that.
finish. Let me
Yeah.
finish. I said, I
And
do
I don't
not
want this to
like
be a
Aaron
fight. I'm
right
not fighting with
now.
you.
And I said, the only reason he would be okay with promoting something like this is because it would make him look good and that it would
Okay.
get at Scott.
I do remember. I do remember you saying that it would, like, but you also did tell me that you weren't sure, and this is what I heard too. Like you said, you weren't sure if it would help or wouldn't help, but that you didn't want to you didn't want to make a decision based on your feelings at the time, and that's what I
But
heard. And I'm sorry.
isn't that not the correct thing to say and feel, especially when I know that it shouldn't be about my feelings or about Scott's
Yes,
feelings
no,
or
I'm
the
not
argument.
saying that. No, but Laura, I'm not
So
saying that you said
that's all
anything
I was
wrong.
saying. I literally told you, I said, I don't feel good about that at all. And I said, and if it's for the reason that he has 240,000 followers, I was like, he's in Clearwater. He's
That
not going to
wasn't the only
outreach to too
reason.
much more
Yeah,
people. We did talk about that. I
yeah,
said
it
the
wasn't
only
right, but
reason he would do it is to be manipulative to his benefit.
right, and it makes him a jerk. And I guess at the time, because everyone, and like,
That's
I
fine.
guess
I'm just saying
because
this is
if you
the
had said not doing
consequences
it, I wouldn't
now.
have done it, Laura. I want you to know that, okay?
I'm
And
just
maybe it's
saying
just a
this, and the
misunderstanding.
way he used the thumbnail,
Yeah, I get that now. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't see
of
it. Like,
course
I
you
didn't see it
didn't,
till
but
afterwards.
that's why it's a huge issue and why Aaron is not transparent. And if you would, and I told you in a text message, I said, go look at the live chat while you were being serious, saying we all need to come together and be
I was on a
transparent and
live. I
let the
wasn't
shit go.
saying.
Wait, don't interrupt me because this is
Okay.
important.
All right.
While you were saying that live with Aaron, he was literally typing in the chat shit bucket and random shit and not being letting things go.
Yeah, and
So
I didn't know that at the time till afterwards. Now I would never. I'm not going to go on again or whatever because now I
no,
see what happened. But
it
I
doesn't.
didn't know that
That's
was going
but
on at the time. And
audit. I'm just saying at the moment, I feel a lot of people, there's like, it's not about, oh, people like me or not like me or that. No, at this point, it's a purposeful agenda that somebody is doing that does not help you. It doesn't help this fucking protest that we've all put together so deeply and we all have loving things that we want to attach
yeah,
to it.
but maybe
And
it
we
needs
all
to
are
come
working
out,
so
Laura.
hard.
Maybe this needs to come out. Maybe if because if I like try to give like the benefit of the doubt and then you remove all doubt, then that's on that person. Okay. Because honestly, if I had and talking to everyone, like I knew you didn't like him, but I heard from you distinctly, like I don't want to let my feelings. I don't like him, but I don't like it, whatever. But like and I said, like I basically asked, or can I do it? Like if you had said no, I don't want you doing this, I would not have done it. I want you to know that. That's how much I value you. And I asked her the same thing. I would
You
not have
know
done it.
what?
Either of
You
you
know
said
what
no.
though? Audit when and I told you and everybody knows what I said to you now. We all know. And I honestly did not think that Aaron would act the way he did after everything that has happened.
Exactly. Neither would I
Good.
expect
So that
that.
needs to be discussed and that needs to be
Okay.
talked about.
All right,
That
then let's talk
behavior
about it.
is
That's why you're here.
absolutely unacceptable.
I agree with you.
The shit that was going on in his chat and the what and him bringing up a P Diddy joke, that is unacceptable. He literally brought up a joke about, oh no, maybe we should have whatever he said. He said
I don't
something
know the
about
P Diddy
having
joke. What was the P Diddy joke? What was the?
about him saying we should have some olive fucking baby oil. No,
Oh,
no,
The Jello pool.
no.
Yeah, that was, or
It's
the
not okay. And
wrestling.
it's, you know what?
I
I can
agree.
break down audit. I can break down the whole thing. It's not okay. The
I agree with you.
intentions, the
That's not
chat,
okay.
the things he was typing in the moments you were talking are not okay.
Well,
And
I did
and
not
I'm
watch
literally
that
not,
until
I
at
am
all at the time.
literally, but I'm not talking to Scott right now. So this has nothing to do with me even protecting or saying anything about Scott. This is unacceptable behavior of anybody if we're going to allow this to not happen in protests. This is not okay.
I agree with you.
All
I'm
right,
not
that's all I
okay with
have to
it.
say.
I mean,
I
you
don't
know what,
feel
Laura?
good
Because like
about that because of this.
I agree with you. I 100% agree with you, but I did it in good faith, and I asked you, and I asked, and you said I don't want to put my personal feelings, like if you and
I
if you think
know.
it, and you did, you
We're
gave me
just
that leeway,
recycling now
and
what
we
we're
right, but
saying.
then we found out what then
But
we
that
found
didn't,
out.
but audit, that didn't, I never said, yes, go do that with Aaron. I
No, I didn't
literally
say you
said,
said
this is
yes. I
going
did
to
not say you
cause,
said yes.
I
I didn't say
did
you said
say
yes.
this
I said
is,
you didn't say no. Don't do it. Is what I said. I didn't say you said yes. I said you don't. You didn't like it. Whatever. You were having feelings of like you hate him right now, and you don't feel good about. But
it's
you
not
didn't say
hate.
no.
It's not hate.
No,
It's
but that's the word you said
manipulation
to
and
me.
literally I'm not okay with it. What it's for his benefit of what he's trying to do and it has nothing to do with what the protest is all about. That
I
all of
agree
us
with you
have all
now.
put so much work into.
Well, I would have loved to have seen it turn out differently. I would have loved to have seen it where
And
it
it's
didn't turn
fine.
out like that.
I feel
But
better
because that
now
was the
that I've talked to you
intention.
guys all right now. I feel way better.
Good.
Honestly, now that I said it, way better.
But you're right, it's not okay. And like I didn't go on there. I'm going on there trying to, whatever, because there was a lot of pressure from that too. Like people
Literally,
pressured
my
him to
blood
do it.
pressure, my literal alarm just went on saying my
You need to take a
glucose
deep
levels
breath.
are
Okay,
low
can
and I need to
can I
take
say
I need a
something?
grape. I'm just saying like there's a
But
lot
Laura,
it's I
Laura.
And there's also a lot of manipulation and pressure that I get from people that is so fucking unnecessary. I don't need to show up to this if I don't want to. That is
No, you
so fucked
don't.
up.
What did I say to you? What did I
No,
say to
not
you?
you. Not you. But the
But
people
I
that
want
are
you to, but
saying,
what did
oh,
I say to
Laura
you?
better not ruin this. Things
No,
like
no, no,
that.
no, no.
Like, what are you
I no,
talking about?
no. Laura, what did I say to you? I texted. What did I
No.
text you?
Yeah, no, you're amazing.
What did I say to you?
But I also
I said,
didn't
you take
like
care of
that.
yourself. I said, you take care of
Yeah, but I
yourself.
know
I
that.
love you, right?
Mhm. Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
No pressure whatsoever. And that's why I keep trying to tell people. People think that it's Laura's event. It's not Laura's event. This is a Dear
It's
Dad ADA
open.
rally. It's about all of it, everything. And if
But
Laura
Aaron
doesn't,
put up the
yeah.
thumbnail.
And I
This
didn't
is
know
why
that.
it's not
And
okay.
I wish
And
that
I'm
never
not even
happened.
trying. Look, I'm literally like, I don't care. I'm not trying to.
Yeah.
I don't
I
care.
wish that
I'm
never
just saying
happened.
there was a purposeful tactic that was done, and it was done in a very malicious way.
Melissa
And
White. Yeah,
that is
I see
not
it.
the energy that we want on any kind of protest like this, especially a Father's Day protest. This is not the
I agree
hidden
with you.
malicious energy that we need. Everything needs to be loving, open, non malicious, non sides, nothing like that.
I agree with you. And the whole point of trying to build those bridges was my intentions were for that. And you know that, Laura. You know
I
I'm
know
not going to
that.
go there. You know that I
Yep.
went there. I'm not a bad player or bad actor, whatever. I went there with the right intentions. I did my best to try to put, everything because it was, hard for me too, because I know I'm balancing a lot of things. But there was a lot of pressure for him to do it. And I honestly thought he was doing it at the time. I get maybe there was like that little extra petty, but at the time, I honestly truly believed that he's doing it to end to because at the end of the day he wants to see them down too. That was my
It's
intention.
not, but
Okay.
Audit, it's not up to me and you to gauge whether Aaron is really doing that or not. All right.
I agree. Right.
But so all we can say is, hey, Aaron, let's turn off the comments on the chat if you have haters against Scott or whatever, because this is not about that. You should have had a pre-conversation with Aaron about it. Like, I could say so much, but I'm not going to do that. I'm
Well,
just
I guess
saying
I
I saw
expect
what
his
happened.
moms to
Whatever
do it. Like
happened, happened.
yeah, because I would expect like to be honest, Laura, I would never say, hey, turn your comments off because I would expect him and his mods to handle that. Like I'm not gonna let that stuff in mine, like my mods would take
Audit.
care of it.
This is where me and you have a little bit of a bullshit like detector. I'm like, no, Audit. You didn't have the conversation with Aaron before you went on the live
I
stream.
didn't even think of it. Like I honestly wouldn't even thought of it. I didn't. I just wanted to, all I said was like basically I just want to stick to what's the business, like stick to this. Like I knew in my mind going in that if I wasn't going to go be deterred or on anything, like I didn't want to talk drama, I didn't want to bring anything else. It was just talking about this and that was it. And
Okay,
that's
I
all we
agree
did.
with you. I can see that. I totally agree with you. Okay,
Okay. And
my
that was
only
what I
other
was going
issue,
in.
I understand that, and I'm going to let everything go after
All right.
this. My only other issue
Let's get it all
is
out.
that, what?
I said, let's get it all out. This is good.
Okay. My only other issue is while Aaron was sitting there laughing and saying shit bucket in the chat, talking about Scott being restrained from everything, right? He had while you were saying come together, right? He never ever once pulled up the actual fundraiser. He never once pulled up the flyer. He never once pulled, but he did that. He's done that in multiple streams, multiple live streams he's ever done with any interviews he's ever done. He's even
I
had at
didn't know
least
that though at
so
the time,
so I'm
Laura. I
just
didn't know
saying if he
that.
really cared, he had
I
enough
agree with
time to be
you.
typing in the chat,
I
but
agree
he
with you. I
didn't
mean,
have enough
I don't
time to
deny. Yeah,
pull
I
up
agree
the
with you.
flyer, the fundraiser, and
Yeah.
anything else that would have made sense to the protest.
I understand that, and I agree with you, but I didn't know any of that until afterwards. Like it was like
Okay,
stressful and
so
scary,
you
but so
see why
that's
I fucking
hindsight.
am. Do you
Yeah,
understand? I'm not trying to yell. I
yes,
am yelling, but I'm letting it out. Do you
yes. Let
understand
it
why
out.
I
Yes,
feel
I
so
do.
fucking okay?
But
I
that's
don't feel
but that
okay
but
about it. And then he used my thumbnail because he
and
knows
I
if
don't
I
like that either.
copyright him, it looks like I'm now destroying your efforts on it.
No, you do what you have to do for you. But I
No, I'm
didn't.
just saying, do you understand the
Yes,
manipulation of Aaron?
but
This
that's
is very
2020. Yes,
purposeful. Aaron needs to
yes,
change his behaviors,
I
and this
agree.
is one of them.
Okay, but I am not the bad player in
I
the
know
sense that
you're
I
not,
didn't know any of
honey.
that was
I
going
literally
on.
love you so much. This is
I love
why
you
I
too.
jumped on with you because it's you and Ganja. So Ganja can keep me in check if I need to, but I'm also allowed to fucking spit out my
Yes, you
viewpoint
can.
of it. I'm
I
allowed to
Yes,
say how I feel as well, especially when I'm
of
sitting here
course.
receiving all ends of everything.
Me too. I know, and I get it because I am too. You know, and we all are, and that's the coordinated effort, I believe. You know, because I am too. I mean,
I'm
we
just
all are,
saying, we don't
all of
need
us.
to it's better that we talk about it now and say
I
this so
agree.
that we can have a few days to process this all through and we can actually have a good protest and it's going to be beautiful and loving. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm not in and everybody else can do it and I'll support it, but I can't be there if I'm not going to be in good health. I'm not going to be there if I'm not going to be in good spirit with
I
good
agree with you because
intentions.
I'm in the same way. It is affecting me
I
mentally,
won't
physically,
show up. I
emotionally. I
won't
get
do
it.
it. I
I
won't show
get
up.
it.
I won't do it if I because I know that it won't be beneficial for what the bigger purpose is. So if I'm gonna feel that, then I'm not gonna do it.
But whatever happened to that interview, it's over. We now, I like now. I see. I'm not gonna,
It's not
go
about
be.
But do you understand, Audit? It's not
Yeah,
about the interview. It's about all of us being very open and talking about
yeah.
what we agree with, what we don't, who's feeling a little weird. Okay, it all makes sense. Good. We all understand. It's been heard, it's been talked about. Then that's the difference.
That's why we're doing this. That's why Gonza said, let's talk about it and clear it out. You know me,
When
I
I
don't like
saw,
to.
literally, I was with Valerie and I was like, you know what, Valerie? I was telling her everything and I was like, I don't feel good about this, but I feel like I'm going to let everybody down if I back out for my own health. And
You won't
then
let me
I
down.
literally saw Let's Talk About It, Ganja. And I was like, you know what? Ganja pretty much can put me in check sometimes and everybody. So
She
let's see
puts
how this
everyone in
goes.
check.
Let's see how
But
this goes.
you know what? I
That's
don't
how
like
I
to talk things
feel. I feel like
publicly.
I need to like leave it at that. And then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I am not one. I don't like to discuss things publicly, but I said I'm willing to, because I'm like, um, whatever, and everything has to be okay. Now it's exposed. Like now is a deeper
Good.
level of
Okay,
we
and
see it.
also audit. There's many other channels that you can go on that people would love to promote this if that's really what
But
this
no
is
one
all
else, no
about.
one's asking me. I didn't ask. I want you to get clear, Laura. I never asked him.
No,
I never asked
I know that.
anyone. Okay, so it's not me asking
I
anyone.
do feel that Mona though is your like Mona's gonna be very, she is the bridge, builds bridges and connections. And
Yes.
it's not her fault if she's building and saying, hey, do this. Like that's not, no, so I
No,
can
she's
be
not
mad at
telling me to do
everybody. I
anything.
literally can be like, fuck everybody, I'm out. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying this is what's happening. These things aren't okay. Aaron has never come out and said, look, it was fucked up that I threw the chick against the wall. She was fucking being crazy. We were all crazy. Like, there's no accountability, and that is not okay in this community. We need everybody to be accountable. We
Well,
needed
we're
Mike
sitting here
Rinder to
talking.
say more. We
Yeah.
needed people. We need that, and we're not getting it. So we have to talk about it.
And I think that's good. And that's what we're doing, right? I'm not for the talking head type of stuff,
I'm
but you
not
know what?
either. Yeah, I don't want to
I
do
hate
that.
it, but
I
I'm willing
wanted to say
to air it
exactly
out.
actually what I said just now and everything, and yeah, can get a little fiery. I
It's
really
okay.
was
That's what we
really
love
turned
about you.
off about promoting all this. I really was going to be like, you know what? It's probably, I was getting literally in my head being like, it's better if I just back away so that everybody can do their thing, you know? That's what I felt.
It's not the same without
And
you because you're the reason I
no, it
even got
is
into
though.
all
And it
this.
can't, no, it's not just about me. It's about Serge
And
Delmar, whether
and
he's
sure, that's what
talking
I'm
to
saying. Not
me or
just you, of
not. It's
course.
about
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah,
It's
that's
about,
true.
if it's that case, then Serge Delmar should be promoting this. But why are we just talking about Aaron? Streets LA, everybody should be promoting this.
He's the only one. I'll
Okay?
be honest. He's the only one who asked, and like that's why I talk to everyone because I don't even know. Like, I'll be honest, I don't follow all this stuff. But like, he asked, and but he was egged on. People were egging him on. Well, not just him personally, but all the big channels, and he
Who
did it. And to
cares?
me, but
But
to me
who
at the
cares?
time, it seemed like it
Good.
was
They
an act
egged
of
him on.
goodwill.
Good. Let's egg everybody else on. Like, why isn't everybody else being transparent about this audit, LA? Like, why not?
Well, I don't
Why
know.
are you?
I don't know.
Why is it? Like, let's all get, like, good. I disagree with Aaron. It was annoying that he fucking used all the shit. Good. Let's move on. Let's move
Hmm.
forward. Let's see what
I
we can
agree.
do better. We're not going to allow those tactics anymore. Okay. Can Streets LA promote this? Can we get these
I
on
don't
other
ask. I
big
don't ask
sites,
people to
other
do it.
platforms? It'll be beautiful, amazing. But don't just leave it in Aaron's hands of him being like, ha ha ha, laughing and literally fucking just attacking somebody he has a fucking huge beef with.
But Laura, he's the only one that asked. It's not like I asked him or picked him. Like, he's the only one that offered. Like, for any other platform, nobody except
But
Ganja, nobody else has asked or
okay,
offered. And I don't
I'm
go
not gonna
asking.
break
Like,
this
I feel
down.
weird asking.
I know,
I feel
Audit.
weird.
I love you, and I know your intention. I know your intentions are good. Please don't let me be misunderstood. I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying, now that this difficult situation has happened, let's try to find other promoters, other people that have a beautiful following that are involved in this, that we can all go, good, let's like
I would love that.
everybody can promote this. Like Aaron didn't even have to have you or my thumbnail on his channel for him to promote to his audience about this.
Very true. Very true.
So
It's
that's
true.
all I'm getting to. There's an intention specifically behind him that I dislike, and that's a personal opinion, and that's fine. I'm sure it's not only my own opinion, but you
Well, I
know,
didn't have an opinion because I don't know much about him. Like, about all. What I mean,
and
I
it's
know there's
fine.
beats, but I don't know about like this and that.
And
Like,
it doesn't matter. Like,
I didn't
honestly,
know.
here's the thing it doesn't matter. The beefs are meaningless when it comes to taking down Scientology. My arguments with Serge or my disagreements are meaningless, honestly, even though I love him to death, even if I don't ever talk to him again, okay?
Well, I
It's
hope that's not true.
meaningless to the protests that we are doing when we're all fighting for the same thing. And that's where I don't feel good about. If I'm not able to say that openly, everybody should show up and they should show up because they're taking down Scientology. It shouldn't
Thank
have
you.
anything to do with who's going to be there, what's going to be. No, 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 no. It doesn't matter. Don't interact with the people that you dislike or might not get along with. You're there to do your good part, and we'll see who is there to actually do their thing, whatever that is, to express themselves, to get that word out.
And we had that conversation too. We're like, remember you said, yeah, it might be awkward because there's so much stuff, but like there's two sides of the street, and we can have this. One could have this side. You could go to that side. Like, we'll make it work. So you've always been the willing
I did say that,
one.
and that was in between audit. You
Yeah.
literally, and I'm going to be open about it, you literally told me, well, I already told Mona, yeah, I guess, yeah, I'll do the
No, I
live
didn't
stream with
say
Aaron.
yes. No, no, that's not true. I did not say yes
Mona,
yet. No, I
no,
didn't.
audit. You literally told me I didn't know what to
I said I
think, and I said
discussed
yes,
it
but
with
then I
her.
said, let me think about. Oh my god, I just said yes, and I wasn't thinking. You said that.
What did I said yes? No, I mean, if I said yes to him, like to her, whatever, but I would say no. I mean, at first I just left it
No,
at
no,
like
no.
blank.
I know that if I told you no, audit, don't do it, you
I
literally
wouldn't do it.
wouldn't have done it, and I know
Absolutely
that.
not.
But I do know that when you called me, you were
Oh, okay.
kind
I see
of
what you're
like,
saying.
that's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
see
You
what
were
you're
like,
saying.
"Oh my
Okay.
God, Laura, I'm so sorry. I actually kind of agreed to something, and I just realized that
But
you
I would
might
back
not be
out in a
okay with it."
heartbeat. But that's why I asked you.
And I told you, what did I say? I literally was like, I
You
have my
said
own
I
feelings
hate him, but
about
I
it.
don't want it to cloud my. I don't want it to cloud like
Right?
if this
I
may
don't
be
want it to
good.
ruin a whole protest against
Right. With
Scientology
your
if it's
feelings. Right.
right.
So
So
I
that's
took
all.
that as and not that you didn't say no. You see how we can build have different we both are
Totally.
seeing things differently, and so
Totally.
I saw
Yeah.
that as like, oh, she didn't say no. So that because I said if you said no, because I love you, Laura. You know that to me you are like you and Serge and all the kids in there. Like you're all the reason I do this. Like seriously, I put my own life on hold, Laura. Like I'm supposed to be going and getting my paralegal certification. I'm supposed to be taking my studying for my test. I put my whole life on hold because I love you. I love Serge. I love the child that I've never met that's in those buildings. I love the old lady that's like crying every night because she can't see her kids and she's not doesn't have a window. Okay, like that's what it
And
haunts me.
Valerie.
So,
We
and I'm
love
going to make
Valerie.
mistakes. I love Valerie, but I'm going to make mistakes. I maybe misheard you, and if I did, I apologize because at the end of the
No,
day,
and
I
you
love
know that
you.
I was literally, and I want to be transparent. I was texting you, and I don't know if your phone was off or whatever, and it doesn't matter. But while you were with Aaron, I was like,
But I'm not
literally
getting texts
audit.
when I'm on. Yeah, but I'm not. I'm not. Like I'm
But
not
I was texting you
getting
saying,
bings
like,
and all that
look at the
stuff.
chat. This is disgusting. This is not the fucking protest we want to have.
But that was my text. That wasn't like I was on this thing. Like people text me all
No,
the
I know.
time, and I'm not getting texts when I'm on like like what
Anyways,
StreamYards or whatever this is. So
I
I
just
got it
feel,
after, and I responded right away to you. And I didn't see the
I
chat.
know.
And I'm like, do I even want to go in and see it at this point? I went in, I saw a little, I didn't like what I saw, and I left. I never even read the whole chat. I saw a little bit and I saw enough. I didn't like it. Would I still love to, like help people to hopefully like I still learn and they hate me for it. I always still like to believe the best that people will change or that we can grow and that all of us, like everyone. And so I always hold out hope for that. But after like I felt a little bit, I'll be honest, like okay, if we want to talk about honest feelings, I felt a little hurt about it too, because I felt it was a little disrespectful. Not a little, a lot, to be saying that stuff, tell out, but then I kind of like say, okay, it's like that's what happens when people let their hate outweigh anything else. And so I just kind of forgave him and in the instant. But yeah, it hurt to see that he was texting that stuff when I'm having a serious conversation. I did feel a little disrespected. Did I go talk to him about it? No, I didn't. Did I get mad at him and yell at? No, I didn't. I can't. I got to stay my head clear. But I did feel disrespected and I did feel like I wish that hadn't happened and it hurt because I'm just trying to do this thing against Scientology, but it's scary. You know what? Like all of a sudden, like I said, I'm getting, like I tried to tell him at the council today, like I'm not suicidal, so what, whatever that type of thing. But it hurt, okay, a little bit, but I'm
But
not hurt
audit,
enough because
and
I don't know him enough for him to really hurt me.
but
But
remember,
yeah, it was
wait,
disrespectful.
but audit, you had this feeling before you even called me. While you were calling me, you're like, I don't feel good about this. And I was like, the anxiety is because Aaron has manipulated and abused and fucking, he's untrustworthy and he's not healing himself. And if he is, he's being very private and not open about it, which is not what the community needs. We need to see change.
I want him to heal. Like I care about everyone. Like that's what I keep telling myself, Laura, whether this makes sense to you or not. I guess I just tell myself, well, this person was in a cult and this person doesn't, he's just at this place and I have to have more grace. And that's how I looked at it. And so I didn't want to get offended what he did to me. Okay. I mean, I got offended with the words he was doing, but yeah, it felt like hurtful to be doing that while you're talking to me. Like it's almost embarrassing because I was trusting him, to be.
But audit, you also like I can mention, and I don't want to make this about this. Like he literally was like, you kept bringing up like Costco and the private like Mexican family owned restaurant that could bring the tacos, and he kept bringing up Costco, and then he made a joke about Diddy, and like it's not fuck. He thinks it's like it's not funny. This is so much work that we
It
put
is.
into this. I have put into this alone and I've done nothing. I've literally done nothing. I've just
I've
been
done a
preparing
lot,
for
and it's a lot of work. Oh, I think you don't think I felt like hurt too. Like I felt offended, but
it's
I'm like,
not
but I
okay.
did.
I literally was like,
It's not
even if
okay.
it even like why didn't he like okay, and so to me it felt very hurtful that you have put your so much effort, even all the
Yeah,
planters, the ADA that you're fighting against is because the planters were in the fucking sidewalk. We
yeah.
got rid of those planters. We've all been a part of this. This isn't, Aaron has had nothing to do with that.
I know that.
This
And
is
but
a
the
years
point
of
is, but
work.
then I
And then
just say,
why?
okay, but he
Why?
was in a
Because he
cult.
has 240,000 followers?
No, no, because he's the only one that asked. Not that I was thinking of numbers. It's not. And also, people asked him,
Yeah,
like,
but like
come on, but Laura,
if
if
you
people,
went on,
okay, but if
I
10 people, if people, just hear me out for a second, okay, if like all these different people, okay, who are, in my, like that we're working with, okay, that I love and cherish and have getting to know, and they're challenging them, the big channels, to do it, okay, and one steps up, like, wouldn't I be stepping on their toes to not
okay.
do it?
Can I
Okay, and
interrupt you for
that
one
was
second?
part of it.
Can I
Of
interrupt
course,
you right there?
yeah.
I know you. I know your heart. I literally know that you are ballsy enough to calmly somehow ask in a nice way, hey, Aaron, can we please, when we do this, even though it's last minute, apparently, can we please not bring up Scott in the chat or anything? And if that is going to happen, can we put the whatever? I
I
just
didn't
know
even think
that
of
you
it.
knew.
I mean, I
Wait,
didn't
wait,
even
wait.
think
Can
of
I
it.
can we
Yeah,
take a breath and literally think about this before you respond to me, okay? Before you just
yeah.
quickly say your answer, because we already know you weren't trying to do it. I get it. And guess what? It's not even our problem that Aaron and Scott and all this shit is happening, right? Okay, but we do know the situation, right? So the easiest way to make everybody come together that has been doing this for the last 2 years, whether people like Aaron, Laura, Scott, fucking whoever, wherever, right? Everybody does have the intention of Scientology is fucking disgusting and needs to be exposed for the abuses, all that. That's where I do believe audit. You have all of the angels of wings of love to be like everybody curled together. But that does not happen. And I feel like the last person you could have gone to sure was Aaron. I don't understand, and this is my personal opinion. I don't understand why we couldn't have promoted it even a little bit more to other channels before that happened. And what the need of that, anyways, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
And
I
then
mean, he
at this
asked.
point, because it already happened, I feel
It
like,
happened.
okay, whatever, it already happened, so let's now jump on other channels and make this an amazing thing if it's gonna be that way. It can't just be
Yeah, if they're
taken
willing.
over by anybody. It's everybody's.
I agree. And I never in a million years, I guess the reason why I didn't ask that is that I guess I just expect people to be grown. I wouldn't expect to have to ask people not to allow that in the chat. I'm just
All
being
right.
honest.
And there was a lot of horrible shit that went down in that chat. And honestly, my honest
And
opinion,
that's embarrassing to me. That's hurtful to
wait,
me too.
I understand audit. I
And
know.
disrespectful.
Literally, we all know that your audit is not the fucking issue here at all. Okay. If anything, it's my issue. Like for real.
Yeah.
But
Tell
the
everyone
thing
else
is,
that.
everything that happened in that chat was disgusting. And Aaron did not once up like promote the channel, did not promote your channel. He asked maybe for your email. Was that the best way to get it? Like, shut the fuck up, Aaron. You, if this was important to you for real and you didn't have other intentions, then you would have promoted this way more. So look, I'm not even,
But that's hindsight now.
I have not copyright strike Aaron. I have no interest in communicating with Aaron. I'm moving forward. I'm letting my community know, as long as with you audit and randomly perfectly. My best friend Valerie said no. She was listening to the live stream and she said jump on and say something. And I said if I do, I'm going to say how I really feel. And she said you should.
You
And this
should.
has been literally what has been suppressed from us in Scientology. So I did say all of that.
Laura, don't I always say that there's nothing you can't say or do, that I will always have your back and I will always love you? And I mean that.
Okay, and I know that that has nothing to do with how I felt about
I know.
the immediate random live stream alert. Everybody randomly last minute gets an alert and it's my photo of something that I did protesting Elizabeth Moss fucking with Scott. Me and Scott did that when we were secretly together. Like that was done very purposefully and
See, and I
disgusting.
didn't know that, like that. It was
Why
because,
didn't
like, for
he
me,
use a picture of Serge Del Mar? And why didn't he use a picture of Lisa McPhair, anybody
Because
who's fan
I
like
guess when I
fucking
saw it
Liz
afterwards, like,
Ferris. Why didn't he use a picture of or Valerie? Anybody. That was
right.
intentional. And that is
I
the
get that
behavior we
now.
have to get rid of.
But Laura, I get that now, but at the time I wouldn't have even known. Like I didn't and I give you
And
my
I get
word.
that.
I didn't see it
That's
till
what I
after.
get. And I
Because I
protect
always see
you.
you dressed like that, so I wouldn't have even know there was an issue until later. Like
I know.
until it was brought to my attention. I honestly, God's honest truth, I had no idea. Because it's like that's how you always dress. So I wouldn't have known. Then I thought, oh, is it because it's SPTV and he runs that foundation? So I didn't even know that it was like what you're saying until right now that you said it.
Yeah.
But
On
yeah, I
it.
mean, I felt
The
hurt, but
protest is
I forgive them.
amazing. The idea, I know a lot of people, I know Scott, I heard was saying like, well, she could have gotten the whole thing like we should be barbecue. No, no, no. What you've
I
done is
can't.
great. I feel very turned off because of the energy by it, but I feel that will go away in 48 hours,
It's gonna go away. We
And I
talked about
just
that's
feel
why
like
I agreed to go on here. Let's clear the air.
no, but
And
it's very valid. I'm not going to support an energy behind something. That's literally what Scientology made us do. Go to this event, do that. Like, no, I don't have to
no.
go to any event. I'm not going to see a shitty show if it's shitty. I don't ever have to do that. Thank you.
And what did I tell you when you said that to me today? I said, Laura, you take care of you. Whatever you need to do, I back you up. And
Yeah.
and I love you. Like,
And
okay,
I
that's what I
appreciate
said.
that. And I
You
appreciate
are
that.
free, and I would never be mad. I would not even be disappointed. Okay, like
No,
I
I know.
want
I
you to be
appreciate
free,
that. I felt it and I knew that you felt that I was like,
and that's the God's honest
obviously
truth.
angry or whatever. Give me some time. Let me jump
Yeah,
on a
but even if
random
you
live
don't
stream and
come,
talk
yeah,
about it.
right. But
But that's
even
the
but thanks
truth.
that's
It's
thanks to
not
God. So that's
okay.
God's. But even if I hope you come because you know what? Like I want to see you sink your dad because we've been telling these people to do. They need to go in there and find your dad and to like all these things. So it would make the world to me because I think we just need to put this all behind it. Okay, we clocked it. We see what.
It's not about that audit. I love you. It's not about that. We all had that there. Everybody was there with it. Even people who did or didn't. It's what Aaron did with the live stream when
Yeah,
this protest means so much to people that Aaron has no idea. He doesn't even know who the fuck they are that have put so much work into this. And even though it's just a sidewalk closure on both sides, that is so
that's huge.
important. It is such a prominent reasoning to say Scientology, you can no longer bully the neighborhood anymore.
Exactly. And
And
so
so
I mean,
to get
yes.
even a foot to 5 steps for somebody to be like, well, hopefully 100 people show up. That's the great. No, there's going to be fucking 500 plus people
That's
there.
right. But don't you think I
So
felt bad
that's
at that? Like I felt
disgusting. I'm
embarrassed
not
by
down for
that.
that negative, fucking, vile little
I'm with
creepy and
you.
crap piece
But
of
I had to
shit.
get through what
Fuck
is that?
that.
But I had to get through the interview. I wasn't gonna make it worse. And like I didn't even know about the chat, but
Okay, but
afterwards
maybe
that
audit
hurt a little
tomorrow
bit.
or something. Maybe
That
you
hurt.
can go on other channels that have way bigger audiences or
If they had
shorter, but have more
if they asked
meaningful
me.
in LA. I can literally text like you. I will send you like 10 people that would love to be like, yep, we'll promote it. Cool. We'll pull audit up here and promote it.
Okay, that's fine. Like no one else did that. And people
And
were
now
asking
people in the
them.
chat and everybody listening will also be like, yeah, you should go on all the channels now, audit. You should. You should
But
be the
I'm not gonna
queen
ask
of the
them. Like
motherfucking night.
I don't ask that stuff. Like I have a weird
Okay.
thing asking for
So
myself.
Okay, so
I just
now
do.
chat knows and the world knows, and the people that are trying
That's
to
my
actually
weakness.
just show up with good energy and show up with like, this is actually going to be fun and we're going to get justice. And it
It
doesn't
is.
matter if you dislike somebody, just go over there and like show up being like, I'm coming here to actually show you the example of who I am that protests this organization that has literally ruined so many people's lives. And that's
Yes.
what all this argument and all this fuss comes from is Scientology, literally.
I agree, and I think that there's a lot of like they're thriving and they love all this stuff because that's what they want. Like there's, I'll be honest with you, today I actually was like, should I just like
Cancel
stop
it.
it and quit it and forget it too and just like
I
never
did
mind?
that.
But
I
then
already did it today. I
yeah,
texted
I
a
was
bunch of
about to.
people like, hey, I'm not going to do it.
I was about to do that too. I'll just, if you want the honest truth, I was about to do
I
that
always
too.
want the honest truth. I'm sick of the bullshit.
No, I'm very transparent and honest. Like, but then
Literally,
I said, no,
Valerie
I can't
said,
do
go
that.
online with the people that you've been, and she said, talk about it because at least they will see how you're feeling and then you can
See, I
decide
don't
whether
like to
you're going
do
to
that.
do
That's
it or
very.
not.
Oh no, I'm going to do it because I will put my feelings aside because that's just I put too much. I'm not going to let them win. I'm not going to let my emotions. For me, this is just me. No, it's too important because then they win, and I can't let them win. I'm very competitive in that sense. I have to win, but I'll do it. But I'm just exhausted. I'm mentally, and I'll be
I'm
honest. Like
so
after
exhausted.
sure,
People
I
don't
saw some
realize
other
I've
live streams
lost
that were
like
just as
this.
disappointing.
Yeah. And it's exhausting, but it's like a weird exhausting where you're like, I'm exhausted, but I have to go back because, like, well, of course I'm exhausted from that because that took up a lot. Like, woo. And all
Yeah.
it is like, I got somebody to go tell the assistant of that person to get it on the paper. So it's like official. Like, it's the stupidest things, but they mean so much and it takes up so much time. It literally takes all morning. You're like, I'm at the courthouse. I did this. And all you did was like one tiny dot. And you're like,
One
oh
time,
my God.
exactly. And I tell someone, I'm trying to see if I can get a porta potty. I'm trying to see if I'm trying to find the right security. I'm trying
Why?
to
You
find.
don't think that the Scientology Odo won't let us just use the bathrooms there?
Uh, I don't. I doubt
I'm
it.
trying to loosen up the energy. I was a little
Right?
harsh the whole chat.
I know. It's like I know. I'm not even watching chat because I'm like sitting here with my phone about to die. My chair's about to die. I don't know if you can hear the beeping. It's like so. I'm like it's about to go, but I don't care. I want to talk about it. I mean, no, I don't want to
No, no,
talk
no.
about. I
I
hate
got
talking
it
about.
out.
I'm
I
not an
said
open.
it.
I don't like talking about stuff, but I'm not because then I show my emotions. I don't like showing my emotions. I just want to be. Why? Oh my gosh, my chair's about to die. But anyway, I don't like. You know what I mean? But it needs to be done. And so I'm going to be transparent and honest. I did feel hurt and embarrassed after seeing that. But I have to walk in forgiveness. So I forgive that. Like I do. And because I just see that like I've been saying this to people, right? Like these people come out of a cult, and the cult doesn't come out of them right away, and there has to be maybe for me, I feel like there has to be extra grace, and so that's why I am not mad at him. I'm not. I don't hate. I don't any of that. But did I feel embarrassed? I did. But I still would I go on again? No. I mean, because that I felt a little bit betrayed, with that because I wouldn't have done that to him or anyone. Like I would never be
And
sitting
and
there
I
and
guess
doing
like
that, and that
even
did
me
hurt.
but even me telling you like when I would remember the first words I said were
I hate him.
Aaron, I literally, the first words I said is, I was like, audit at the moment, I hate Aaron. I
Yes,
literally said
you
that to you.
said you
I
said
said, I
that right.
hate him
Hate
for
him.
what he's done to Scott, for like the untransparency, for him just not owning up and be like, hey, I'm going to be a better man or whatever. Like, there's so many times he could have just stepped up and done better. And for him to try to hold this, like, oh, I have 240,000 followers. Who gives a fuck? Like,
Yeah, I
no
don't care
way. I
about
don't.
that. I didn't
No,
care about how many he
but
has.
you did care about it because that's why you went up on the channel is because he has the most followers.
No, that's not why. That's not
Why?
true. Because he asked, and it's like if it had been other people asking, I would have went on
Okay,
them.
wait. I'm
I mean,
so
yeah, I did
sorry.
like
That's
that. It
even
was a big
worse.
channel. I did well.
No,
I
but
did
that's
like
even worse. I'm sorry.
how that
The
was.
fact that he asked is just more like it didn't even come from you to be like, oh, I need this to be promoted on a bigger channel.
I
It
was
was that.
nervous because there was like a little bit. I'll be honest, it was really partly at first because like everyone was asking him to do it and he did it, and I really, really, from my heart, felt that he was like kind of like I don't know. I want to say put an olive branch because I know there's like a little bit. There was like a little bit of tension. Like I don't feel like he's ever liked me or ever wanted anything to do with me or ever acknowledged it. So I always felt an awkwardness. I'll be honest, I felt like weird. And so it was not easy for me to do it. I really, honestly, from my heart, felt like I was doing it because it's for the greater good. And you can ask Mona, you can ask Gonza, like that's the truth. I felt I was doing it for the cause, even though I knew it would
You know
be like
what?
at
And
some
that's where
expense
I
for
think
myself.
a
But I
lot
didn't
of
expect him to do
people
that.
that's where a lot of people understand you audit and where nobody's saying you were at fault. The only thing they were saying you were at fault was is that knowing Aaron and knowing the conversation, you knowing the conversation that me and you had before, where I literally was like, I do not like him because he literally the
No, but
three
you didn't
things
tell me
were
no. So I
the
I did
three
not
things
take with
were
it.
I said he literally is a womanizer,
Yeah.
period. And I said, and another side note, I was like, it doesn't seem to me like he's the greatest father. So why would we even put somebody on a platform for
I don't
Father's
remember
Day?
you saying that. I think that may have been with someone else because
I
I
said
didn't
that's
hear
my
that part.
personal opinion. No, I said my personal opinion is I
I no,
don't
I
think
actually don't remember that. I mean, I'm just being honest. I don't remember you
that,
saying.
but that's fine
I'm not
if you
saying you
don't
didn't say it.
remember that audit. Literally, when you're apparently in shock, like, oh my God, I just said I would go do this thing with Aaron. When I'm literally telling you these are the big disagreements I have.
Yeah, but then when I asked, and you said what you said to me, well, this was the last thing that you said was like, I don't want to stand, I don't want to let my emotions stand in the way of what it might be. You said it may work out good or it may not. I don't know. I don't want to stand in the way. That's very far from saying, don't do it. This would hurt me. You see what I'm saying? You're saying like, I'm mad at them, whatever. I don't like them, but but then I'm balancing also the people who have been asking him, and then he's willing to do it. And I thought, I honestly, from the heart of hearts, like I just think that people, might be growing or changing. That maybe that there was like something that he was growing. Like honestly, I give the people the same benefit that I want to be given. And if you burn me, okay, you burn me, whatever. Then I get it. I still don't hate him.
It's
I'm not mad
fair.
at him.
No, no, no. It's fair what you're saying, and
That's
every
just the truth.
and I can keep going back to yes, audit. I did say that, but that was also after a 20-minute conversation. So by the
Right.
end, maybe I was like, look, I
That's what I
feel a
took
little
from
bit
it.
in a haze of not like knowing if I should say this is okay or no. I feel like I'm now impeding a protest. So
Okay,
so
but
yeah,
see,
of
I can
course
only
I'm
go
going to
by
say
how I
whatever.
took
I'm just
it.
saying a lot of time went by, and so we were, and I kept my overall thing. And what when you left, you knew I do not condone
Like
or
him.
want to work with Aaron until he himself shows that he's willing to work with him fucking self with his
No,
own shit.
that's
He
not no.
doesn't
What I
show
was
that
left with is
openly.
that you
Why is he
hate
allowed
him.
to show that openly? Why can't he show that openly?
I don't know. I mean, these are Aaron questions. I don't know Aaron. I
Okay,
met
so
him
well, we're
twice.
talking. You
I've
went
been
on
on his
Aaron's
show once. I
show.
don't
You went
know him.
on Aaron's show. So, anyways, I'm
Yeah,
just saying we're
okay,
repeating
cool.
ourselves. I feel like this is just
I did.
stupid, but it is what it is. I feel how I feel. I'm allowed to fucking feel how I feel. I feel like what the fuck. I thought this was gonna be such a fun, beautiful. Even if my dad doesn't come out, at least there's document footage of history showing to my father and for the future fathers of other daughters that were trying to express their love for their parents that look, if all of us could just be out here protesting doing this would be so beautiful and like it's meaningful. I put a lot of my life and tears and guts and words into making these songs, and these songs when I play them and when everybody dances and does their shit, it fucking is really beautiful and impactful. And that's the message. It had nothing to do with like shit bucket, Scott, and air. Like, what the
That
fuck?
was.
You
I
fuck
don't. I did
off.
not condone that at all, and I didn't know it, and I felt embarrassed
I guess
afterwards.
my expectations, I thought you would have been like, Aaron, absolutely not. I know you have shit going on. I
I
don't want to
would
get into it.
never in a million years think he would do that. Like
Okay.
on
Well,
honest
now it's
truth.
on the record. So hopefully he
Yeah,
can change his behavior
I never
and the way
expected
he's
that.
dealing with shit.
Like that was because I guess like how you would never do something, so you wouldn't expect someone else to do something
I
like that. So
literally don't do that shit and you don't
me
do that
neither.
shit.
No, I would never expect him. It didn't even dawn on me to talk about it because I wouldn't
And
thinking like
also
never in
there's
a
so
million
many
years.
people that know how much Gina and you and Mona and everybody's doing behind the scenes.
So
Even
much.
me and everybody
Yes,
that I don't get along with are still doing behind the scenes.
yes, and
Like it's not
but the thing
funny. Like
is,
you are, yeah, you and Gina put this protest against. If anything, that would have been put in my name because I live like so yeah, this isn't about that. It's about showing that fathers are disconnected and defunctionalized to be with their fucking
kids,
their
yes,
kids, their
and the
parents from birth,
ADA
and
and
that
the
it's
degraded
normal that
baby.
the Sea Org actually Scientology actually builds an organization that separates you
Yes,
from
yes,
them. That was the whole purpose.
But
Where did Aaron
that's
show
part of
that?
it. That and the ADA. It's like it was a combined thing, like to show
And
the
them bullying the
disconnection
neighborhood. That's what I'm saying. I live
and the
in the
control in the
neighborhood. So there's
neighborhood
so
and
many
the
people
safe
that I
pointing,
exactly the safe pointing and how many people
all of
the
it.
businesses in the neighborhood that are afraid
Yes.
to speak out about Scientology.
Yes, and the people who are having their bones rattled because of the music. It's all of it. And that's what we wanted to do. And I'm not like for me, I'm like willing to shake it off. We talked about it and I'm like um whatever hurts or pains or whatever, it's like I'm letting it go for me because otherwise I can let myself go nuts. I can't handle that level of conflict and energy. I am just moving on and planning, and if 5 people show, then I'm just going to be grateful that 5 people are showing. If 500 show, I'm going to be grateful that 500 are showing. I'm going to do the best I can regardless if other people failed me. That's their failures, it's not my failure, because I went with good intentions, with good, wanting to do the right thing and trying to be the right thing for everybody as best as I could within my ability. That was my intention. If other people's intentions were bad, then that reflects on them. It should not reflect on anyone else but that person or people.
That's fine. That's fine as well. And I agree with everything you said. But also included in that is, you know what? If I'm divulging in this fucking protest against Scientology, you're going to also,
Right.
including myself, you're going to find us still using Scientology tactics and behaviors that are negative and that are
Yeah.
passive aggressive. So if Aaron's
Yep.
doing that, that needs to be called out. That behavior is not okay. That's literally what we're fighting against.
I agree. And I'll let you call it out because, like, you know what? We're all
I'm calling
learning
it
from
out.
you
I'm
guys.
saying this is what upset me. This is what turned me off from fucking like promoting this shit like crazy. I want to go on KCRW. I want to go on the radio stations and promote this, but I don't want to do it with negative fucking bullshit. It has to be what we're all pitching in to do this for.
I agree with you 100%. That's why I put that behind us. We clocked it, we saw, we see. And if that's, but I still hope that that will change and that person, that the people will grow and do better. I mean, I'm never going to give up to belief in people, and I'm not going to go by hatred. I'm not going to hate that person. I hate what they're doing. I hate what they say maybe or what they do, but I'm not going to hate the person. And I'm always going to hope and pray that things change for them as well, for everyone. And that's just who I am. And I can't help that. Okay. Maybe it's a weak point,
No, I agree. And a
but
lot of people also, no, it's a strong point, and it's a point that a lot of us don't have. But then we also attack you a little bit for it. We're like, oh, she's so
yes, you
political.
do.
She's just, she's just being, but it's great. We need somebody like you. You're literally making it happen. Gina, I love you all so much, and I'm so glad I actually, Valerie, thank you for making me jump up and actually say
Yeah.
how
I'm
I'm
glad you
feeling,
did
because
that.
it's hurtful on so many ends. And the last thing, I'm gonna feel guilty if I don't show up and do this,
No, no.
and
And
I
I
don't
want
need
to
to
make
feel
this,
guilt
no.
for that either. No.
No, and I'm going to say this right now for everyone to hear. There is zero guilt because you know what? You did not ask for this I came to you about it. You didn't come to me and ask me to do it. It'd be different if you said, "Oh, Otto, can you do this and put this together?" And then you don't show. No, that's not what happened here. I came to you and said, "Look, this is what I want to do." It would mean the world to me and Gina and all of us that if you could, like, the dream was for you to sing your dad. You didn't have to say yes. You do not have to
No,
say yes.
and then I got
And I will
excited.
never,
I was
ever,
like,
ever, ever, ever hold it against you if you feel you can't do it. Or Serge, if it's too much, because I understand there's triggers, there's trauma. No,
there
there is
is. Me and
no
Serge
guilt.
haven't talked since the police commission meeting. Like, that is fucking not cool. Like, but if Serge showed up and I had everything done, I literally would give him the fucking stage. Like, I love Serge. I love his moves.
And he
If he
loves you
showed
too.
up,
You
that
know
would be enough. And if he doesn't, then I understand. It's fucking fucked up and tough. I understand.
that. And that's why I
So,
feel about
but
me,
what I
with you.
don't, I'm
You
not
don't
okay
have to
with
go to
not
no
also
obligation.
saying the other stuff. I'm not okay with also saying the things that aren't okay.
Do you feel better now that you got to say it?
Yeah, because now I have a choice to actually show up if I want to, and I don't feel pressured
Yes.
because it must
No,
be done.
you do not have to. And I know Gina
And
will
as
agree
an
with me. Like,
artist,
whose name is on the permit? Whose name?
Gina's.
Mine. No, Gina's name's not on it. My name is.
Mm.
I had to take it over because she got turned down. So I had to take it over. And I know Gina would say the same thing. So I'm not trying to bump Gina off. I am telling you, as permit holder, you are a free agent. You will be as tremendously, you will be loved. Like my love for you, my respect for you, my care for you, my concern for you will not change one iota, whether you go or you don't go. It is not dependent. My care for you, my love for you is not dependent on what you do or don't do. Okay? It's
Yeah.
unconditional.
All right.
Okay?
I feel like
And I mean
yes.
it. You are free. And if you don't go and decide to go, you know what? And we're going to hang out. We're going to do things. We're going to, like all kinds of stuff. We're going to, I mean, everything's not going to, nothing changes. We're going to go yell at, not yell at, but go out there and convince people to leave. So nothing changes. If
Okay,
you're
well,
not,
I understand that, and I love everybody until you're a little fucking punk ass bitch. But for the people that want to come and support me, come and find me. If I come, I feel like now that I said what I said, I feel like I'm definitely going to show up.
good.
I was
We'd
always
love
going
to
to
see you
promote
there.
it. I just felt really bad. I didn't want to show up with negative energy. I didn't want to show up with
There's
like
not going to be no
negative
negative energy.
energy.
We're kicking out all the negative energy, okay? Because like love
Okay.
love
So if I
conquers.
come, it
Right?
will
That's
be
all
because I
it is.
don't have a negative energy because right now I
It's
feel
never
very
negative
annoyed and
energy.
angry.
But you got it out, right? But no, there's no
Yeah.
negative energy. We are going to, because, we're going to just have what it's meant to have. We're going to celebrate. I mean, we may feel angry in the sense that here we are outside this horrible cult and, knowing that your dad, whatever, that what they're doing, but the anger is going to be well placed, not misplaced. Okay. The anger is not going to be, or the bad energy
Yeah,
inside.
no,
It's
that's
going to be the
very
good energy.
obvious. Yep, that's very that I don't think even yeah. Anytime
Okay.
we've ever done protests, it's always been everybody protecting everybody that shows up. It feels
Well,
really
yeah.
good. So
And we
that's
always have
like
good
when we
times, right?
did
We
the
always have
celebrity
fun.
center protest, it was so crazy because honestly, I felt abandoned previously by all the protests before where I was like alone. And then finally, when there was like this big celebrity center protest, everybody showed up. And I remember how I felt with that and the group connection and the group like even hearing a little story and then like somebody saying yeah I was in it for this and then this like all of that energy and community that is like what we're looking for at the protest. We want to we're not even there to shout like literally I'll bring 1,000 signs and people can just hold a sign and that's it and we can all just chat like and
There you
eat
go.
yummy
But I
food
have another
and
thing too.
what's
Sorry, I
that.
didn't mean to cut you off. There's something else. I wasn't going to say it. I was just going to show it there, but I might as well just say it. Like another intention. Like hopefully, I mean, I hopefully if she can do it in time, I'm not sure, but hopefully Liz is going to be sending me another scroll. Okay, because my intention, what I want to do is, we get the scroll, for us to go up and down both sidewalks with the scroll, right? And then I got these little. Sorry, I'm going to these little LED candles. Okay, I wanted to do it when it's almost dark. And we light up these candles. It's not real flames because I don't need the fire department on me, right? So it's those little LED ones. And I'm planning for like 50. I got like 50 of them. And we walk up and down with the scroll, okay, and carrying these candles. And then afterwards, my dream was that like if you or somebody like to, on the, to call out each name, okay? And then when we get to the name of somebody who's no longer with us, I got a bell. I got like there's little tap bells like that, I got a bell and I want us to ring the bell and take it for like a brief moment of silence just to remember that person and to love them, and that's what I want to do. That's what we're doing. If it's 5 people show up, we're doing it. But that's what I want to do, and I want them to see us do it. I want to see us unite. That's why I said I want to unite. I want to unite over the receipts and all those kids many who thank God are still with us, but many too many or not. And we're going to give our own candlelight service for them. And I'm sorry I'm crying. I don't like to cry like in public and stuff, but that's what we're doing. And either you're going to be there, anyone's going to be there with me or not. These kids are going to get honored on Father's Day. And I don't care what Aaron, whatever, whoever anyone did, it doesn't matter. What matters is those kids on that list. We're going to honor them. And my phone, I'm on 3, so if it hangs up, I didn't hang up on you guys. It's just my phone died and my charger
Okay,
died.
and
Both phones died and my charger
I
died, but
think
that's what
that
we're doing.
I think I think Laura's phone died too because she dropped off. But yeah, for anyone that misunderstood, like that's what a healthy conversation is. And Laura's a very passionate person. You know, some people might say that she was yelling, but that's passion for what she was talking about, and she was getting her feelings out. And this
Yeah.
was a very productive, healthy conversation. And there's ways to talk things out, and it leads to growth.
And
So
healing.
yes, I'm assuming her phone died and she can't come back, but you've been doing stuff since early this morning. I really am sorry that it's so late. I feel bad, so I guess I don't know. She hasn't popped up. There she is. Okay, she's back. We'll add her.
And then my phone may die because I'm down to, I can't see 3. But yeah, I've been going 12 hours, 12 and a half hours now. So I'm exhausted and spent. But I didn't, I wanted, but that's what we're doing. We're honoring the kids. I want to keep that focus. Remember, it's no more kids in Scientology. And I'm going to keep my focus. And so I got to put all of whatever that show, whatever, everything, whatever behind me. And I hope we all can. And just move on and the best we can. No pressure for anyone. No pressure. I don't want anyone, please don't pressure Laura. Like I wouldn't want that. That would hurt me a lot.
Yes, an audit. I want you to know, and you all can hear me, right? Sorry, I just came
Yeah.
back in.
Back with that.
Um, audit. Like, I only have issues with people that I care and love. And so, like, you know what I mean? Like I care for everybody, but at a certain point, there's a certain amount of like emphasis or energy that I'm going to give toward that. And I always want to give you the most energy that you can. I want to help you. If I could literally, I was thinking, is there a way that I can literally transport audit through my van? Like, because my van could lift, like, could take you. So I was like, oh my God, I wonder if I could have ramps that I'd be like, audit, I'll just take you. And like, I could, and
No.
there's so it's not that I don't think about you and even Mona and everybody so much. I suck because I still have a lot of bit of Scientology brain and everybody that thinks, oh, see, lie. No, all those Scientologists still have 90% Scientology brain that think they're all free from Scientology. They're fucking not. But so I still have that brain that's like, oh, what if I just say fuck you to everybody and then they're like, okay, Laura's not gonna be a part of this. That might be better. That's where my brain goes. Like, maybe I'll be better if I just let it be how it is without me there. Cause maybe I'm stirring too much up, right? So my brain goes there and this conversation literally made me not do that. Like it made me go, I felt good about what I fucking said because whether I'm right or wrong, I hate that shit, but whether I'm seeing something the way it is or not, I do feel better about saying how I'm perceiving it and feeling it. And a lot of people will see it as valid. They'll be like, yeah, why the fuck would Laura ever want to be a part of this shit? Fuck that. Um, and then there's other people that are like, well, Laura, this isn't about you, you know? You should just show up and do it. And it's like, well, bitch, you don't know what an artist is, and you don't know what that means to feel comfortable in a space where they're able to actually put on a show where they feel beautiful and able to express their emotions. Anyway, so I'm going on a roll now, but there's so much feelings involved, and even at the end when I told you about, like, look, I just wanted to say that I'm not okay with Aaron. I fucking hate him. First thing I said, I hate him right now. That was the first thing I said.
Yeah, you
I
did.
hate Aaron right now.
That's true. You did.
And I even said I hope that changes in the future, but I don't think it will. And
Yeah,
then
you
I
did.
said, and then the other things I did say that probably you didn't hear, but I was just breaking down other things that I was like, I'm not okay with this. Like, and then I broke down myself and I said, you know what though? These are all just my personal blah blah blah. So like the
Yeah,
amount of shit I've had to deal with in the industry and like, oh, I have to make a song and I have to sing it. If I want the money from this, then I like there's so many things that I've had to just kind of like you do audit where you're very, as they say, you're very political. They're like, audit's more political, she doesn't, she can just chop the emotion. And it is true, you can, and it doesn't mean that you can't also have the emotion when you're ready to have the emotion. But in the same way, I get fucked up Scientology brain where I just go fuck everybody. And I'm glad I really was gonna. I promise you, literally, like 6 hours ago, I was like, I'm not. I almost am done protesting. Like, I think I'm done with all of this. Like, and so I'm glad I had this talk with you guys a little bit because yeah, I
you
really
can always
wasn't
call.
gonna, I
No, you
was
can always
gonna make
call
up
and
a
talk to
lie
us.
and say I was sick. I was gonna say I was sick. I can't do the protest. I'm sorry.
It's a lot. It's a lot, man.
Valerie's literally like saying it's a lot, babe. Like, anyways, and I don't want to do that. And I'm glad I said all this. And there's a lot more that I want to say. Oh, trust me, but I'm not going to. I'm trying to just focus on the feelings that I'm feeling about the protest right now and like the stuff that's happened. Audit, it would be really cool and I'm sure everybody would love to have you on to promote the Father's Day protest. Especially now that we've talked that I've literally said like this shit that I'm not okay with. I'm not okay with Aaron manipulating shit and this is the other thing. Here I go again on my own. Going down the other. Okay. But here's the other thing. Like Aaron, what? Now Aaron's gonna be promoting it on his live stream, and then no, like you know what I mean? Like, sure, if that's what it's gonna be, if it's not about what Aaron's intentions are, there's gotta be a good thing about it. I don't know.
Well, she said her phone was about to die, and I think that's what happened.
Sorry, yeah, it did die.
But like this was a healthy conversation, and I'm glad that it happened because I can see you have like a different like vibe to you now. Like you feel like a weight has been lifted or something
I
possibly.
literally,
It was good to
literally,
get it
Ganja, I
out
was
there.
literally like 6 hours ago telling my friend, like, I don't think, like, I'll probably like support the protest, but I don't want to show up. I felt like I don't, and it was just feeling because I want to do a show in a meaningful way. I don't want to feel, and like, I never had any of these issues at any random bars or like venues that I play. So I'm like, why am I feeling so weird about this? And then I was like, it's because the transparency is like not being told on all levels. There's so many, everybody has transparency and, oh, I feel like this about this. Great. But all of it's not being said. So it's just like, it feels like, well, either we're all going to say the crap and then we're all doing the actions, we're going to show up when we show up and we're all going to support the main objective, or you're going to see the obvious people that are showing up trying to cause shit. And that's fine too, but at least we're all aware of it. To not talk about it is so stupid. That to me is like, no, I'm not going to allow that either.
Right. And like I don't want to do the whole like say the whole, what is it? The communications, the universal solvent, because that's like a Scientology thing. But like in in reality, conversation is like the best thing. You need to talk things out with people and not just hold
But
your your
You know
feelings
what,
in all this
Ganja,
content.
you're totally right, but I would also say that even though we hate that term, communication is a universal solvent. Scientology has stolen that, so we can just save it. Like we can just change it to let's all talk about the things we don't want to talk about in a calm way, and it would mean the same thing. Um, but the other thing I would say is that people have to also be okay with when people are talking about things and they say, well, that's not okay with me. I'm triggered by that. The intention of talking to somebody about that in the way with their emotions and feeling free about how they're feeling about the subject is to show that, hey, look, this is how I feel about it. So I feel that people get shut down, like you're not allowed to feel this way about this subject. No, I'm allowed to feel fucking upset. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but can I express how I feel? Because it'll make me a better protester. It'll make me a better human. It'll make me a better fucking partner if I express how I feel and you actually hear it how I'm feeling. Whether it benefits you or not, you have to hear it how I'm feeling. And I feel like when that happens between anybody, when somebody actually feels how they're feeling about it, it's not even the job of the person hearing them to even fix it. It's like, oh my God, all they needed is somebody to hear it. And then they're like, okay, so what do you think you're going to do about it? Like, then it's kind of like, okay, good. Now they can snap out of it. The weird thing is like YouTube and all this is such a new thing. So it is weird. It's uncomfortable. I happen to be like a pretty outgoing person that's a rock star, so I'm able to do it maybe better than most, but I'm still comfortable. Like I'm still me on as much as I feel like I can be on the live streams. Where other people struggle with just being themselves off camera. So like that's just impossible for everybody to just even tell their stories how they are. And so for people who are online promoting the stories, it needs to be about the stories of Scientologists and their fucking horrible experiences being in Scientology and not, oh, this person made me upset and they've been attacking me all year protesting, so I'm going to try to put them in jail. And then anybody, yeah, like it's just gross. It's just gross. I'm not doing that.
Yes.
I'm not doing that. That is what I'm not doing.
Yeah, but like I don't like keeping stuff in and letting things fester because then it becomes like a bigger situation, you know? So I really believe that this was a good, healthy conversation. And I personally hope, and I'm sure a bunch of people hope that you do participate in the protest, that you're there. We hope to see Valerie there, you know, other people that you know. We hope to see a lot of people there. Like, and hopefully people can just, you said the same thing I was saying. LRH way, such a long street. If you have people at Fountain that don't get along with you, go over by Sunset. You know, like
No,
there's
and it's
ways
not
to
even
do it.
that. It's like if you're there with good intention, you don't even have to worry about that.
Exactly. But like I really hope that you're a part of it, and I'm gonna be there. So I hope that you're there because it'll make it easier to see you. But you know, like I'll make a way either way. But like I really hope that you're there. I hope Valerie's there. I hope to see Serge. I, I even said earlier, and I don't know your feelings, but I would love to see Leah Remini pop up. If she's supposed to be the poster woman for, you know, ex Scientology for some reason, why, you know, why doesn't she just pop up, you know? And there's other names like I I wish people would just pop up and do something, say something, be about something, you know, a bit more. And if they do, I'm not going to totally be, you know, like a cheerleader for them, a fan of them, you know, on their side. But I will earn some respect. They'll earn some respect for that, you know, and I want people to have that chance. So I hope people come that, you know, like I hope Leah's there or like Joy Villa, she just came out. That would be interesting to see her there, you know, like I just hope everyone, even people that we don't know the names of, people that have been affected and stuff, and they want to, you know, be a part of a protest with, you know, a bunch of cool people that are there for the right reasons. You know, like I hope that there's a good turnout, because they're
There's going to be a great turnout, period. It's going to be a great turnout. There's no worry for that. That needs to go in the trash. It's going to be a great turnout. Anyways, I
right.
said what I said. I feel how I feel. Feelings are allowed to be had.
And your feelings are valid, and it was really healthy. Like I really believe that it was good to your mood sort of change it. It looked like a weight was lifted from you,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
was so sad and sappy girl about it, like a wet dog. I was like, I don't know if I want to be a part of the protest. Like, cuz I don't want to be a part of that energy and crap. So if the crap and all that shit is going to be good and beautiful and great, then let's do that. But as long as I was able to talk about it, it helps break apart that crap.
Yeah, but you got Valerie there. Go hang out with her. I'm about to end the stream. I gotta go eat. It's almost 11.
I
But,
know
but
we're eating little snacks.
yeah,
All
but
right. Thank you
thank
guys.
you
And
for
thank you for everybody
speaking your
watching.
truth.
Love you all. If you feel like you want to come and you want to go to the protest and all that, do it. Don't feel, just come in with love, come in with yeah, come in with just you and your harmony. We have a bunch of signs and everything, so you don't need even like bring your own sign if you have and do your thing if you want, but like also we have others, we have signs there if you want to just come and show up and not have to worry about that. So, yep. I'm going to
All
get
right.
my own mental crap together as well and figure out what I'm going to do.
But nope, no pressure. I don't feel that people are trying to pressure you at all. But it would really be awesome if you could be there. And it would be even more awesome if you could perform. Because
Yeah.
you're such a fucking amazing singer, a performer. It would be awesome. So I personally hope that you would, reconsider where you're standing at this point. But no pressure. Do what's right for you.
Thank you, Ganja.
Okay. But yeah, I gotta end this. I gotta go eat. But
Okay, thank you. Bye, guys.
uh, see y'all later.